What are you breaking up right now?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Yeah, you're definitely breaking up.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna exit out and come back. All right, can you hear me now? Can I be heard?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, perfect.
All right, great. Yeah, because like I said, I'm on. I went live through the phone. And it's a little different. It's not that
Yeah, I got.
easy. Okay, so what do you think about the live last night? Because I fell asleep, so I don't know how it ended.
Well, I left around 3, but I think it actually went pretty good. I mean, it wasn't too contentious. We had a good build, I think. Just adjust some things, but I know that we had a few of the women listening that didn't really kind of like it. I know Tatiana came in and we were pretty much in agreement with everything that she was saying, and she was in agreement with us. But I know the ones in the comments didn't really like it.
Right, okay, I got you.
And yeah, to answer your question earlier, though, I did know that most black women are overweight or obese. I did know that. And I actually started noticing that when I was younger, in my teens, but I didn't notice that until probably about 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. To me, that's a huge issue. You know what I mean? That's a huge health issue. But again, a lot of us get into cognitive dissonance where we start to believe our own bullshit, and we start to justify our condition. You know what I mean? Like, so the men in their condition, they justify gang culture or that goofy shit they did into, and then the women, totally unfit, would justify like their unfitness, which is it's just ridiculous. And but with these two mind states, men and women, you might think, and other people might think we're going somewhere. You're going nowhere. Okay, if you can't admit to your current condition, which is, I mean, it's obvious. We can see that you are fat. To this nigga over here, we can see you're a loser. You're a game coach. We can see it. And they still sit here and make an excuse of why they're fat or how fat is all of a sudden attractive and game coach is all of a sudden accepted. So what do you got on that?
I agree with you. I agree with you 100. It's hard for I'm trying to say this without being offensive.
Yeah.
I kind of think most people are stupid. I'm gonna just put it like that. I'm gonna put it.
I mean, that's the reality. I mean, like if they're offended, you know, how can they be offended? Like they could look at their current education and they could see that you dig.
Not even in terms of education, just their ability to compute or figure things out is low.
Well, that's part of education. Like for example, like math teach you the order of operation. Like that's the way to calculate shit. And you know, so yeah, so all that is no way to think properly without on a mass level without education. Education it is designed for you to comprehend and learn and calculate things correctly. Like, how far would a nation go without basic math or basic reading skills? Like, how far can you go? So education is a big part in how we perceive things today.
Yeah. So the reason I brought up intelligence is because I feel like people have it. We grow up around the obesity. You know what I'm saying? Our moms, our aunts, our sisters, and it's normal to us. And because it's normal to us, we're attached to it emotionally. You know, this is our family we're talking about. We have a hard time admitting and acknowledging, you know, that there's something wrong with this. That, hey, you're overweight. You know, it becomes so normal to us, and then you know what I'm saying, she ain't fat, she's thick, and then we you know what I'm saying, we love the thick women and we praising the thick women, but really, you know, if we look back, you know, and you know, honestly, we don't even have to look back. Just look at other cultures, and not just white cultures, or it don't have to be white and black. Other black cultures, you know, that live in you know, other countries, the women aren't as big. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, but that's an American thing too. You know, Americans typically weigh
Yep.
more than period. You know, but
Right. Plan, right. And we got fast food restaurants 24 hours. Right. But the thing is this. But there's a point you hit on that I agree with. And, you know, fat is fat. I'm not trying to excuse them. And I don't think we love big women. We don't. Because if you look at we're men, we're around other men, and we see what we look at. I'm in the gym every morning, by the way. You dig? So you can imagine what I'm seeing. And I'm in a gym with guys who play basketball. We see the women out there. And we agree on certain women and we disagree on, and we agree on other women who are undesirable to us. But I don't know too many big women, big bone women that the gym, not just unbiased opinion, that the gym full of men, 20, 30 men say, yeah, I want that. Like we agree on the nice, fit women and possibly slim. Like, we're not looking at some big bone Rasputin chick trying to say, yeah, we want that. That's not what we're doing.
Well, when we say want, we gotta more specifically, we're not trying to wife that. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to keep it. Because we're in you know, this conversation is being had. It's actually a popular conversation right now in the manosphere about the big girls. But yeah, man, I mean, we're able to look at, you know, the big girls and be like, oh, you know, she's cute and her fat is, you know what I'm saying, sometimes is compact or, you know, tighter and it's, you know, distributed in certain areas to make it look more attractive. But but honestly, man, like I mean, I agree with you what you're saying, but and we will, you know, we will submit to our lust and be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, I'll smash her and I can entertain her, you know what I'm saying, and take her out for a little bit. But to, you know, to add to your point, but nobody is like, yo, man, I gotta introduce her to my family. I gotta wife her up or anything. Nah, that's not what nobody's thinking.
Yeah, I think you're envisioning incorrectly what I'm envisioning when I say I'm talking about Respucia, and I said that name. I'm not talking about don't
Oh
forget
yeah,
we're
Rasputin. Yeah.
right.
You're right.
We're not talking about Serena Williams. We're not talking about Nicki Minaj. We're not talking about these rare chicks that's never in the hood. Okay, we're not
Right.
talking about these chicks. Okay, that type of figure that's rarely ever seen. Well,
Right.
I don't know about. Let me speak for up north. You know, that's rarely seen.
Right.
I don't know about Texas and Florida and Cali. I don't know, but up where I'm at, that the Nicki Minaj body that's rarely seen. Okay, and I've seen some like that. I've seen some, but like I said, it's rarely. It's like if I go to the mall, I'm not gonna see them. Okay, I'm going to see regular sized women or obese women.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree with you.
right, you're looking at so now there's a reason why these guys lust for Rihanna. Now I don't think Rihanna's sexy at all. Okay, nothing. Yeah, I can't say nothing, but that's not what I'm looking at. Okay, but there's a lot of guys who are obsessed with Rihanna. Now Rihanna, in my opinion, got no ass. You know, big forehead, and to me, she just light skin. So niggas just love light skinned women. But my point is, she ain't thick. She's thin on the thin side, and guys are lusting over her. So that was my thing. So I don't know how many big women that the masses are or a large some are lusting over. Look at yeah. But anyway, but again, this live is not to get on. You know, you got beauty in all sizes, right? Because both of us have seen, as you just stated, you've seen some beautiful women, a little out of shape, but pretty. You dig? And a dude might say, you know what? I could look past certain things. You know, her beauty is still there, her personality is a certain way. I'm gonna rock with that. You dig? And that's the reality. And men have. You know what I mean? So we're not gonna ignore that. But what we're not also gonna ignore is that we got to be better conditioned. Like we are out of shape, we're unfit, and most importantly, it's unhealthy and it's deadly. COVID-19 has exposed that. You know, so it's unhealthy. We got to get in better shape. Now, I'm not saying we got to meet the Kevin Samuel standard where everybody got to be thin, you know, 125. I'm not saying that. Like in my opinion, I don't think nothing wrong with a thick black woman. You know, that's proportionally shaped, works out. You
See,
dig?
nah, Dad, you can't. But okay, so either we're going to, you know, uphold the health standards, or we ain't. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like,
Right.
so like it don't matter if it's proportionate or, you know what I'm saying,
So
if it's
my health
all in her
standard
butt
is
or
not
breast.
based. So let me just say, my health standard is not based on the BMI, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. So my health standard is by lookership. You dig? I can look at you and tell you you're out of shape, you're obese. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to say. So any woman that's like 5'5" and 230 pounds, I can't see that looking sexy. I just can't see that looking sexy at all. Yeah.
So are you saying out of shape or overweight? Which, and the reason I'm
Obese.
asking for
So
specific.
so yeah. So my problem is not out of shape or overweight. My problem is obesity.
1 second, man. All right, sorry about that.
Yeah. So my problem is specifically obesity. So like women that's overweight, I don't believe they're too far from in shape. If they hit the gym, you know what I mean, run a little bit, I don't think they're too far from being in shape. So they're not my issue.
Okay,
My issue
got you.
is the people who are obese, who are like probably
Obese,
never be in shape in their life.
got you.
That's my problem.
Yeah, yeah. I have a problem with that too, man. I have a huge problem with, well, I ain't gonna say huge, but yeah, it does bother me too. And I think that it says something about us as a people that we've gone to that. And it does reflect our education levels
Yeah,
and our overall intelligence.
yeah,
It really does. It reflects that. But that's how, how do you address that?
yeah. Well, I mean, again, like when it comes to our people, all of a sudden when it's reflective, all of a sudden it's very sensitive. We can't talk about it. I mean, like you can't even bring the shit up, especially around. I'm gonna be real around women, black women. You can't even bring it up. You dig? We can't even talk about it. It's off the table. It's like, yo,
I,
what? We can't talk about being fit. We're not saying tomorrow you got to be that. We're not saying in your lifetime. We're just saying the truth that we got to be fit. You know what I mean? Everything starts off with uh admitting the truth. You know, they do that. They do that in triple. Do that in double A, right? Or whatever. The alcoholic anonymous stuff type stuff. Like they got to admit they got a problem before they can solve it.
I
So
agree.
with us, we don't even want to admit it's not. And look, this is not limited to obesity. This is limit. This covers all of our issues as a people. You know, globally and nationally. We won't even bring it to the discussion. It's no debate. There's no talking point. Don't mention
I agree. I agree. But the problem is, man, the problem is, and I'm gonna blame men for it too. I'm gonna blame men because now
it.
this is chauvinistic. I already know it is, but I feel like this is I feel like we are supposed to lead. We are supposed to enforce standards, and we don't have the discipline. Most men don't have the discipline to control their lust.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
very
For
tough.
we will entertain anything. You know what I'm saying? As long as we can, get a nut. If
Yeah,
the woman who's doing what she's supposed to do is she's not going to be so careless or reckless with her body, generally speaking, and she's not just gonna let anybody, hit. So, the bigger woman might be easier. She
yeah,
might be easier for that guy who didn't want to work to get, what I'm saying, the other girl. So, what I'm saying, she's more willing or more uh she she don't have as many options, so I don't want to call her desperate, but
their standards are lower too, right?
exactly, you know what I'm saying? So she will entertain him where the other woman wouldn't. And he's
Right,
so yo, he will also entertain her, even though he
right.
knows that's not really, what I'm saying, what he wants, but he wants to, he wants that immediate gratification. So he's going to entertain that. And it all has a ripple effect. It all has a ripple effect.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be very anecdotal. I'm gonna be very biased. Okay. So when I was like, once I see my clown friend, I got a friend's a clown, right? I got a growing up early, you know what I mean, like early 20s, you did shit like that, early teen, I mean late teen, early 20s. When I see my clown friend lying to a woman who's not attractive, but he's lying to her just to get a draw, I knew it was over. I said, "Oh my God, now you're big enough to Rasputius. It's over." Because at that point, like women kind of, in my opinion, women kind of knew their beauty. You know, they knew they was not a dime. They knew there was like a five, and that's how they conduct themselves. In 2021, 2022, everybody think they're sexy. It's like, yo, that wasn't the case. So I blame men too for being thirsty, lying to these women who are not attractive. Again, this is just my opinion. Lying to women who are not attractive, boosting their confidence up, and now she's behaving like she's a dime. So if I go to get a quick one, she acting like, you know what I mean? Like she the real deal. It's like, no, you can't do that. I know my man scooped your head up, but listen, you are fine. Okay, so get over here and do this.
Hey man, it's a hard conversation to have, but it's not. I mean, it's actually being had right now. That's a lot of guys having it. But I just gonna stick to the solution is men, man. Men, we have to hold ourselves to a better standard. And what I'm realizing also is people don't really have a they don't really understand discipline. Most we don't understand uh conquering our own urges, you know what I'm saying? We don't understand what you know what I'm saying, or resisting temptation. We don't really think on that level.
Yeah,
Uh
we don't know how to practice that. We don't know, like we were never taught to like discipline ourselves to practice, to restrict for certain things. Like we've been taught through rap, so focus will be right here. We were taught through rap that just go out there and do it. And look, a lot of times, look at this clown right here in front of me, dude. What the fuck, you drunk? So a lot of us don't even be horny, but we'll go do it anyway because it's available.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's really gluttony in a way, you know what I'm saying? It's gluttony, you know what I'm saying? Like when you eat and you ain't even hungry. It's just
Right.
it's on the table, so I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, I've done that. And I've done the other thing I just mentioned too a few times. Like I'm not even into it, but I do it anyway because it's there. So I feel like I gotta do it. So again, like we are undisciplined and there's no education to teach us that it's okay not to do it even though it's available. It's okay just to not do it.
Right. Right. I agree, man. I agree. Just cause you got it don't mean you gotta spend it. Just
Right.
cause you know what I'm saying, just cause you can do it don't mean you should do it. Nah, like have some standards. Cause then what it would do if we did that is it would force, you know what I'm saying? The reason that women feel like they don't have to do anything but look good for men is because that's what we have trained them to think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what we have trained them to think
Yeah,
over years.
like you're pretty, so you could get all my attention.
Right, exactly.
Resources.
Exactly. We got our attention and then boom. And it's sad too because you know what I'm saying, dudes, after we get our prize, you know what I'm saying, we get bored with it. And then they
Yep.
don't understand, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But if we had disciplined ourselves from the jump, you know what I'm saying, we wouldn't be causing, the confusion like with all that, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, she's beautiful, but you know what I'm saying, I ain't got a sweater and I can, actually try and get to know her first, and you know what I'm saying. Then if something happens, then it's a genuine interest. But yeah,
Yeah.
man.
So now swinging from that to this. Okay. So you heard, and you might have repeated at some point in your life, but you definitely heard. You heard black folks separate from white folks and doing their own thing. You know what I mean? Their own little black society. Now, we've seen examples to that in this country, right? We got history. No need to do that. We got history. I want to talk 2021 going to 22. Okay, so there are some black cities now, like what's that? St. Louis, St. Louis.
St. Louis, Philly, Detroit.
Yeah, Philly, Chicago. Oh, Detroit. Thank you. all these black predominant cities. All right. So my thing was this: black folks always want to separate from white folks, and they believe that they'll be better off. And my thing was, no, you're gonna be more reckless because we have a problem. When I say we, I'm saying a specific mindset. We got a problem with white people. So whatever we think is tied to white people, we reject, whether it's good or bad. So we look at law enforcement as white. So we don't want it. We look at science as being white. We don't want it. We look at education as being white. We don't want it. We look at lawyers. We look at government. We look at all these different things as white. So we don't want it. So now when we create our own society or live in a city predominantly by blacks, you'll see the most reckless, lawless behavior in the cities you just named. They're all predominant black, reckless, lawless behavior. You can't deny. I can't deny. But what is your reason? Well, what do you think is what's the reason why it's so?
Principles. We lack principles. Like that's why that's what I would attribute that to. I think that the instances where those predominantly black cities, those the black mayor who runs that is weak. He's a weak man with low character, poor character, just sellout. That's what I feel. And if he were anything other than that, he wouldn't be in that position. That's my thoughts on that. I don't feel like.
Wait, you say position, you saying he won't be in a position of mayor?
Right. If he were anything other than weak or a man of character, of low character, he wouldn't be in that position.
So are you saying black folks shouldn't be in a position as mayor?
No, I'm saying if he were anything other than weak, if he was strong, if he was a man of principle, he wouldn't have been elected mayor. I don't think he would have.
Oh, well, not because we're in in that case right there, I'm going to argue with that. Like we're in a country.
Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby, how the tangents he went on, a lot of the stuff that he was saying about black people, they got people, black people turned against him. The stuff that he was saying was true.
Right.
Condescending or not, it was true. He was trying to hold and shame us to do better. But people don't like to be shamed. We don't understand or appreciate.
People don't like truth. I got you, Stan. Go ahead.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So Bill Cosby never would have been elected mayor. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, no. Okay, that's a different ballgame. And now, of course, if you offend your constituents, they're not going to vote for you. I mean, that's just common sense. But if Donald Trump, as beloved he is by certain red states and certain people, if he started disrespectfully, I'm making it worse. If he started to disrespect them openly, is what I want to say, they're not going to vote for the guy.
That wasn't disrespect, though.
No. Look. Okay, you just said that black folks took it. Okay, all that matters is how the person receives the information. Black folks, we can't deny. Black folks took his criticism as disrespect. We black folks looked at him as selling out, cooning, right? So of course, so it doesn't matter how you take it. The bulk of black folks took his bullshit as disrespect. Shaming. You just said shaming. So, of course, we're not going to vote for somebody who shames us, who disrespects us. So, if Donald Trump shames his constituents, he's not going to get a unanimous vote amongst them. They're going to start dropping off. So, that's a different ballgame. But we're talking about, I'm not under the influence that because a black man, black woman is in a authoritative position, that it's a conspiracy. I don't think that low of us. I think that
I wasn't even touching on. I do believe there's conspiracy, but I wasn't touching on the conspiracy.
I'm not on that. So the thing is, I believe the black mayor got voted in for other reasons, and of course political. You know what I mean? Because if white people are behind, right? His seat, his office, right? But he shares the same agenda as them, and it's in a black city. Of course, to them is wise to push. Now, remember, it's a room full of them that be the same way. So if it's a Hispanic community, they're gonna push the Hispanic guy. The white community, here goes Tom. If it's Chinese, here goes Wang. So if it's a black community, they're gonna push Tyrone or Bone Quisha. Like that's politics at its finest. So I don't got a problem with that. Now, the guy going there, I don't believe he's lacking ethics or dignity or morality. I believe he has all that. I think he has a tough task. He's dealing with a race of people who are savage by their own confessions. Savage, hood, all that type of stuff. So I don't put the blame.
Rebellious.
I don't put the blame on a mayor or whoever over the mindset of the people. I think what he can do is he can try to, make it more tolerable for these people. But their mindsets was there before he got elected in office. I see you.
But who elected him? Who elected him?
The people.
The exact people who want him to lead. Like if we chose him, right? If we're savage and we are,
yeah, we did. He's in office, right?
Exactly. So we knew what we were electing,
No, I don't agree with that, because when I voted for Bill Clinton, my only time ever voting, when I voted for his first term, when I voted for Bill Clinton, I ain't know the hell he was getting. And guess what? And there's other candidates. I just blew it on everybody. So I'm not gonna give you that. I pushed when I voted for Bill Clinton. I did that, and everybody was Democrat.
I got you. Yeah, I did the same. Well, I didn't vote for Clinton, but yeah.
So I can't.
I understand.
I don't believe black folks totally know what they're voting for. I think some do, and I think some don't.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. But I still, and I don't even want to say blame, credit that man in charge or woman in charge, that black leader in charge. I still credit them for their faults, for their lack. When you're in a position of power, you have to own that power. You have to own that authority, and that is a skill, and that changes you. And a lot of people don't like the change. They can't embrace that power. And I know this firsthand, just on a minor level, because I'm in management. I'm a manager at a furniture company, and I also manage my own business. I haven't been doing my thing in a while for myself, but at work I manage some young guys, and some of them not so young. But anyway, I manage people, and it's very hands-on. I got to interact with these guys, and some of these guys are savage or self-proclaimed thugs and rebels. I'm gonna use the term rebels. They are rebellious.
So are you at fault? Because the position manager is like,
I would be at fault if I allowed things under. We have standards. I have standards that I have to enforce, and if I don't enforce them, yes, I'm at fault. Right now,
a mayor enforces things by the police department.
I'm sorry, say that again.
The mayor, okay, so he's not hands-on like you. The mayor enforces things by police department. Now, of course, those who are around him in his circle, he can touch them. But when it comes to a society, he can't. He's not going to go out there. Like, he has the police department to enforce the law that he signed off to or is coinciding with.
There are creative ways to reach and be hands-on with the community.
Okay, then you should run for mayor, then, my brother. Like, I don't know why you're not running. If you have the answer and you're allowing people who are unqualified to go out there and sit in the seat, I'll hold you responsible and accountable.
I mean, that's fair from your perspective. That's fair. That's fair. What you're saying. If I feel like I have the ability and capability, why point the finger at somebody who's not? Why not do it? I understand your perspective.
I look at that as a coward.
I mean, and from your perspective, that's reasonable, but that doesn't consider my perspective. That does include the conspiracy theories.
Yeah. So let me give you from me. Let me tell you who I am. Okay. And DJ Focus know me personally. Hassan know me personally. Tatiana, I know her. So certain people that's in the chat and on the panel know me personally. Okay. The one thing I'm not, if I believe in something, and for few of you who know me from just the internet, right? Few of you are sold, or if I believe in something, I'm gonna ride with it 100%. Now, if I believe I have an answer to something that I don't see that. Wait, did I just do that? I just rolled past where I was trying to go. Hey, that's goofy. Oh my God. Oh boy. So anyway, if I believe that there's an answer to something and I know it, and nobody else is saying it, I'm gonna put myself in position to give that answer. And this is why I joined various organizations. Why I joined the Nation of Islam, the Five Percenter, and the Hebrew Israelites, because I felt like there was answers in those organizations that were not being disseminated to the people. So I feel like I would be that vessel. So I went out there and joined the organization, and I tried, because I believed these were the answers. So I went out there and I proselytized these answers. I went out there and, I did what I thought was right. But I put myself in that seat of an official, an elected official. I didn't point fingers.
No, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. That's that I don't have a problem with that. So I'm a part of a group, of a camp, what I'm saying, where I should be in a leadership position. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
But when it comes to governing a city where everybody doesn't have the same principles that I have, you're not going to unite people like that. There's only one way to unite people with conflicting principles, and that is legal. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
people got the wrong idea what a mayor responsibility is. And see, our problem is when somebody black goes into office, we hold them to the highest fucking, more than anybody else that's in that office. When we see what a mayor duties is, when we see what a governor, president, councilman, councilwoman, lawyer, when we see what their duties are, when a black person sits in that seat, we just act like they gotta be absolutely perfect. Like they can't fuck up, they can't make a mistake, they can't be normal. They gotta fix the world. That's not reality.
Well, I mean, I don't expect that, but what I do expect from a black mayor is a concerted effort to uplift the community that he or she is supposedly from. Because usually when we see a person with that hue in office, we automatically assume that they're like us, they're ADOS. You know what I'm saying? Or what's Tariq's group?
FBA.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. We automatically assume they're FBA. So I'm looking for a concerted effort in our direction. You know what I'm saying? To implement us, to get us on board, and that I do not see a lot.
Right. So that goes back to, we need to know a mayor's role and their limitations, what they can do and what they can't do. Now, do I know the role? No. Okay. But that's easily accessible online. We can Google a mayor
Right,
limitations and their power. Right.
right.
So what I'm saying is this: from the organizations I've joined, the Hebrew, the Nation of Islam, the Five Percenter, those different organizations, they really hold black folks to a high, perfect standard. They act like when they get office, things better be the way that they believe they should be. So when they're not, they believe these guys they failed, they're failures, they're sellouts, they're part of Illuminati, they've been elected. And I'm saying that's not reality. I'm saying there's a condition in the hood, right? In our city, we call it the hood. There's a condition that's already there. The residents have failed. Nothing is stopping you tomorrow from knocking on doors. And everybody I see this too. We are all self-proclaimed internet activists until it's time to be active. Nothing is stopping anybody on the internet, viewing us or viewing somebody else, for knocking on doors and talking to people. Now, not during this Islam, that was standard protocol. We knocked on doors, even though we still that Islam bullshit, we still knocked on doors and spread that bullshit. Okay, so what I'm saying is there's nothing. So when I did that, I'm like, well, what's stopping the Christians? What's stopping the atheists? What's stopping other people from knocking on doors and just talking to their people? Fear, and the lack of responsibility. If we want to push it on everybody else, we don't want to get out there and do it. But we want to criticize those who make an attempt, whether they failed or succeeded. Like we point the finger and say, look, you ain't do this, you ain't do that. But what is stopping you? There's no, you don't gotta sign, you don't gotta fill out an application to go knock on doors or to stand on the street corner and talk to your people. There's no application for that. There's no license for that. Just go do it. But we won't do it. And
Wait
like
a minute.
that's
The Israelites are on corners talking to people.
well, not okay, brother. You know, and I know that you have certain camps that's on corners, and you got certain camps who are in churches. Not every Israelite camp knock on doors.
Well, I don't know of anybody who knocks on doors except for the witnesses.
Okay, street corners. Okay, look what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You have you have Israelite camps that go in street corners. But I don't know how you've been. I don't know how long you've been in this. I don't know. But I know
7 years, 8 years.
Right. So I've been in a lot longer than that. So I'm saying, so I probably know names. You know, have you heard of the House of David?
Yeah, I know. I'm familiar with the House of David.
So now I threw out. Now they was on street corners, of course, but I threw a name out there real fast just to see where you at. But I'm just saying, like I've been in here long, about 15 years. Okay, so I've been I've been to some many camps, found out, discovered. Okay, so what I'm saying is, you have the Israelite camps that go out in the street corners to teach, and you got others who are more in the church. So have you heard of the COI Chicago, COI Chicago?
No, COI, no.
Right. So now those guys, you can YouTube right now. Those guys were church based, in the building. What about Pastor Tony Smith?
Pastor Tony Smith?
Right.
Nah.
Okay. Hebrews like preacher, church. So I'm trying to say that I know there's a bunch of church Hebrews like that don't go out. They bring you in and they teach, and you got some you're aware of that go out and teach. That's all I'm trying to say. They all don't go out and teach on corners.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I agree. Like, what's wrong with talking to the people?
Nothing. That's great. That's what you should do.
No, I'm in agreement with you. I'm in agreement with you. We have to talk with the people, and not only that, because I'm not big on what they call it, proselytizing or evangelizing. I'm not big on that. I'm not big on evangelizing. Like, I'm not trying to convert.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, excuse me. Let me correct myself. I am trying to convert people.
I'm about to say,
but it's through lived action. You know what I'm saying? It's through the way you live that converts people. It's the same way where if you have a wisdom or obtained a certain level of wisdom or a certain level of success in an area, you want to help those around you, or everyone for that matter, to better themselves and obtain that same level of success or wisdom. So that is how me and my camp look at, conversion or evangelizing. That's how we look at it. We're not so much as trying to convince you that our God is the true God. It's more so about the principles that you're never going to be able, we're never going to flourish as a society or as a culture or as a community with our principles fucked up, or without a lack of principles. Without it's the principles that are going to dictate everything else. Education is important, but without the principles, education is going to be used for evil. You know what I'm saying?
So,
Uh,
what about when Apostle Paul said you must contend for the faith?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What about when Apostle Paul said you must contend for the faith?
I don't think that he said you had to contend for the faith. I don't think that's what he said. The way you're phrasing that, it sounds like a religious concept that doesn't even agree with what I understand. I have to look at the chapter and verse, but I'm pretty sure you're phrasing that wrong.
All right. So when last night when I said that the Bible said that Eve was to blame, did you say that wasn't there?
I said that is a popular narrative, but I said no, it doesn't. It blames Eve for what she did, but it also blames Adam for what he did.
Right. So when the Bible in 1 Timothy 2:14 explicitly said Eve is to blame, not Adam. Okay. So we have
First Timothy what?
2:14, and I'm surprised you don't know this stuff because I ain't read the Bible in like so many 6-8 years, and I still know all this stuff on top of my head. You dig?
Nah, I don't do that. I'm not I'm not that sharp with the sword to read off the top of my head like that.
So the thing is, so if you're not that sharp, then you shouldn't be saying what you disagree with. You should say, okay, well, brother, source up, right? But once you say you don't know if it says that, then that's like, to me, that's like saying you're saying I'm wrong. So when I source it up on you, it's like, dude, I mean, I just cut you.
Nah, because what you said was Paul said contend for the faith.
Right.
And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure Paul didn't say that. That's what I'm saying. Chapter
right.
verse.
Right. So I got you. So now that's what I'm trying to say. Before you say, I'm pretty sure you didn't say that. It's wise for you to say, just source up. See, because once I pull it up and it says that, then you were wrong. And to me,
I don't have a problem. I was wrong. I would say, yeah.
That's a problem. That's a problem. Okay. Why be wrong deliberately rather than say, I don't know about that, bro. Show me. Why say because when you say I don't think it says that, you're saying I'm wrong at that point.
I'm basically saying, okay, so I kind of feel like we saying the same thing, but you don't like the way I'm phrasing it.
Oh, no. We're not saying the same thing. If I say Apostle Paul said something, and you say he didn't say it, or you think he didn't say it, you're saying I'm wrong. That's the way to look at it.
Okay, so what? Instead of me saying that you're wrong, let me say I'm doubtful. I'm kind of scared.
But if you don't know, how about this, my brother? See, now we talk about the lack of education, things like that. Okay, so if you don't know, just say, "Really, brother? Can you show me that?" But if you say, "I doubt it," you're wrong. You're speaking from a place of ignorance because you are not sure.
No, because I do read the Bible. Over 7 years, I've probably gone through it 3 or 4 times.
The scripture I'm sourcing right now.
I just told you I don't know the scripture you're sourcing.
So I'm saying, rather than saying, I doubt he said that, he didn't say that, things like that, why not just say, really, he said that? Show me. Because when you say, I doubt he said that.
I did say I would need the scripture and verse. I did say that.
At first you say, I doubt he said that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
When you say that, you're coming from a place of knowledge. Okay, so then I'm going to say, okay, well, now if I show you that, then what? Because you just said it wasn't there. So if I show it's there.
No, I said, if you show me that, I will say, okay, I will render your point.
My brother, I know you're getting what I'm saying. You didn't say that at first. You said, I doubt if he said that.
Yes.
Okay, so stop right there. That means that you're saying that you don't believe it's there. So in your Bible. So if I pull up in the Bible and it's there,
you're right. I'm wrong.
Right. Yeah, but it's bigger than wrong. That's saying you don't know your Bible. Like you're a Hebrew and you don't know your own Bible. Like you don't know what the words are saying. So how can we trust you to teach us from the Bible?
Okay, now you're kind of reaching now
No, no,
because I
no.
don't know every verse.
Right. So, okay, that's my point. If you don't know a verse and I quote something that sounds
But you
unfamiliar,
didn't quote it. You haven't you didn't quote
paraphrase
it.
it.
See, now paraphrasing is dangerous. That's what
Right.
Hassan tried to do yesterday.
Brother, did Paul say it? Yes or no?
No, I'm saying no. I'm
So now,
saying no.
so go ahead and finish. And when if it's there, then what?
If it's there,
Yeah.
I will render you your point. Yes,
Right.
you were right. I was wrong. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, but don't that mean you don't know the Bible?
No.
How? You just said a passage in the Bible is not there. If I show it's there, you don't know
A passage. Contend for the faith.
Yeah,
Contend for the faith.
why?
What faith?
My
That doesn't.
my brother, you're asking more questions. I'm just saying
Listen, Paul doesn't refer to anything of the teachings as the faith.
Okay, cool.
That's a Christian concept. That's a religious concept that Paul would not have. No, that don't even sound right.
So the book of Jude, who wrote that?
Book of what?
The book of Jude in the Bible.
I don't know who wrote the book of Jude.
Okay, can I read from it?
Right.
Okay. Dear friends, although I was very eager to write to you, so we're writing. So we'll see later who wrote this book of Jude. All right, hold on. Let me get to it. Hold on. Let me close this light. I'm driving, trying to read this. I'm about to cause a serious accident. So just give me a second. Okay, because I'm convinced I might know more Bible than you. All right, so give me a second. All right. Because this is a letter being wrote. Right, I'm reading. Somebody saying I wrote to the people of Jude, or whatever that is. Okay, so here we go. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read. Get my gas real fast. Yeah, 30 premium. Yeah. All right. So here we go. So I'm going to do the King James. All right. So it says, Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needed for me to write unto you and exhort you that you should earnestly contend for the faith. God damn it. Which was delivered unto the saints.
Okay. Okay. Look, so I was wrong. I don't have a problem with that.
Right. But my thing is, instead of being wrong, just say, brother, I never heard that. Can you source up? That's in the future, because it's like disrespectful in a low key. Now, I didn't take that disrespect, but
I don't think it's disrespectful.
No, of course, just hear me out totally before you chime in. I'm saying it is disrespectful. I said I didn't take that disrespect, but if you tell me something, right, and I see that you're like standing on your square, and I sit there and tell you that's not correct without any knowledge to base it on. That could
you
be
saying any knowledge as if I don't read the Bible.
No,
I believe it. I believe it,
brother.
More than you. What are you talking about?
No. So forget. Okay, we got belief. We got reading. We know Christians believe like hell, and we both know they don't read the Bible. So the belief stuff and reading, we know is separate. Right. So what I'm saying is this. I'm saying for somebody to make a claim, and the next person say, I don't know if that's true or any way doubt it, without being informed on it, that could be seen as disrespect, or it could be seen as other things. Not just disrespect, it's other things. Because it's probably not disrespect. That's probably like an extreme way to look at it. But you get what I'm trying to say. It's looked at like you don't believe the person know what they talk about. Once you say, I don't know about that. And now I don't mind you saying that if you stood on your square, saying no, it did not say that, it said this. Then I could it's like a little debate now. But for you to say that out of ignorance, knowing you don't know, if you're not familiar with the passage, just say, brother, that sounds like that might be incorrect. Can you just
That's what I said, man. Honestly, basically, what you're saying right now is exactly what I said.
I didn't get that.
I don't understand. I don't
But it,
understand how you can get that. You said something. I was skeptical of it.
okay,
So then you
Bible,
sourced up. You provided the chapter and verse. I said I was wrong. Like I don't understand how any disrespect was in that. Like I don't understand that.
Okay, so we can move on. I read it, and I just find that I just feel like when I was in the Bible, I just felt like I was around other people who knew the Bible as well. You dig? And when we said something, we either were familiar with it or we wasn't. You dig? So the people, God damn, like so let's say like the vaccine stuff, right? Let's say me and Unc talked the most on this stuff. So let's say me and Unc was talking. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so me and Unc was talking about some stuff. And me and Unc argue. I mean, if you, a lot of people don't know, Unc is very controversial. So even within Unc's own team, Unc is controversial. Like he's the independent thinker, right? He thinks outside the box a lot. You know, so and he'll challenge traditional thought a lot. And sometimes he's right, sometimes he's wrong, right? But overall, he's the controversial one. In the pseudo killers and the Amarad squad, whatever he's at, Sinetta TV, he's the controversial one. Where you'll see him Sinetta agreeing, and then you'll see them disagreeing. You'll see him in pseudo killers agreeing, then you see disagreeing. Amarad squad, he'd be agreeing. He's very controversial, but he's a independent thinker, right? So a lot of times he argue, and he'll say source up, and then I'll source up, or vice versa. I'll say, I don't believe that, source up. Then he'll source up. So we do this, but one thing I'm not going to do, if Unc is telling me something, and I don't have the knowledge to that, I will say, Unc, can you source up on that? I'm not going. I'm just saying me. This way, I'm just saying the way I do things, and way I try to have people do it as well, follow suit. I'm not gonna tell him he's wrong, or I don't believe him, or I doubt it. I'm just gonna say source up on.
Okay, but I'm familiar with the Bible. I read the Bible. I'm familiar with that. You saying contend for the faith?
Yeah.
That didn't register to me. That doesn't tell me why Paul said this. What was going on when you just said Paul said contend for the faith?
Well, I had read the letter actually.
You read the letter afterwards.
Okay, so no,
that was to prove it. I said, okay, you were right.
All right, now, brother, that was verse 3, by the way. I can read verse 1 and 2.
I mean, but okay, Jude, the servant of Christ, and the brother of James, them sanctified unto the Father God, preserved Jesus Christ. And then you read continue for faith. That would have let me know, oh yeah, I think he's reading from Jude. And I could tell what's going on, what church he was writing to. That would have been more clear, but just contend for the faith. I'm not that short. Like, I admit it from jump. I'm not that short with the word to where you can read 3 words to me, a phrase to me, and then continue with it. And then I'm just gonna know that doesn't, especially not in the sense that you're saying, like, doesn't Paul say continue for the faith in the potential discussion that we were just having? That doesn't.
Okay. So Akashi, my apologies. I held you to a standard that, like you said, you're not that sharp. All I'm trying to say, when I was in the Bible, and I was with Hebrew Israelites, it doesn't matter if we agreed or disagreed on faith. We proudly tried to know the Bible verbatim. You dig? That's what we tried to do. So it was a badge of honor. We talking to a brother. He spit a scripture out, and we knew exactly what he was talking about, and we knew where it was. Like, that was our thing. Our thing was know this Bible. Okay, so I kind of
I know there's a lot of brothers like that.
Yeah, so I kind of held you to that standard because that was my fault. I prejudged you. I figured you said you was Hebrew, so I started holding you to like what I was used to, customs that I was used to. I held you to you need to know it now. So, but regardless of that, now this is just to the chat, because I said it to you 4 or 5 times, so I'm not gonna be redundant. This is to the chat listening, if they're there. I'm driving. I can't see. Check. I beg you, if you're not sure of something that's being told to you, don't tell the person they're wrong. You doubt them. Just ask them to source up. Ask them where they got it from, so you can verify it. That's respectful. To tell somebody out of ignorance that you doubt them or they're wrong out of ignorance, you don't know, but you just feel a certain way, that could be perceived as disrespect for the person who's trying to give you information. So that's just to the chat. So anyway, we went down a rabbit hole, which is far, far, far. So anyway, I mentioned Paul contend with the faith just to say, because you were saying how Union Camp does. So I was just saying, contend with the faith means that you argue your faith. You don't run from, because a person say I don't believe it, you don't stop. I'm not saying this is what you got to do. Contend with the faith means that if somebody's like second guessing or claiming something else is better, you're supposed to like really dialogue with them a little further, and it might lead to a debate. So that's what I got.
For what purpose?
Because for the purpose of the first time you tell, now look at God the Father. God the Father just don't tell Israel that their ways are wrong. He actually chastised their ass and sometimes kill them. Okay, for what purpose? For what purpose? To get his message across. Okay, so for what purpose? Is to get your message across, because sometimes some people need more than just, hey man, this is the right way. Sometimes they need an intellectual conversation. That's the purpose. Everybody is not just as open-minded. Some people are double-minded, as the Bible would say. And you need more. You need to do more to reach them. So the purpose, you say, well, for purpose, to deliver them to Jesus. That's the purpose. That's the goal of the gospel. It's to spread the good news.
If they're interested.
No, I don't read that. No, okay, can you? Okay, I can get you the scripture where it says spread the gospel. Can you give me the scripture where it says if they're interested?
No, but I can't show. I also cannot show you anywhere in the Bible where they're trying to force someone who isn't interested.
Nobody on this panel. You're introducing words and nobody said. Nobody said force.
That's why I asked you to what purpose.
Cool. And then I told you, I said to deliver them to Jesus so they can be saved to that purpose. So you contend because the Bible talks about double-minded people. It talks about hard-head, stiff-neck, talks about all that type of stuff.
Right.
So if you're hard-head and you're stiff-neck and you're double-minded, that means you're not going to receive the truth when it comes to you. Okay. So when Jesus in the book of John chapter 8, when he's talking to the Jews, they were very stubborn. And every time he talked, to what purpose? To the Jesus purpose. Every time he talked, they tried to catch him in some shit. From verse 1 with the woman that they convicted for adultery, all the way when they're trying to condemn him, convict him, saying he was there before Abraham. So all the way throughout the entire book of John chapter 8, they were trying to use his words against him. Did he give up? He kept going. Even though they was trying to find fault in him, he kept going. Don't forget, they brought the woman to Jesus in John chapter 8 to try to get him to lie or not hold her accountable for adultery. So the whole point of John chapter 8, they was trying to get Jesus they were trying to find a reason to condemn him, to find sin in him. Now, did he stop talking? He kept talking anyway. So now, if we claim to be Christians or Hebrews, and we're following after the example of Jesus, we do it his way. He didn't give up. He kept, and we're talking about a stubborn people. Scripturally wrote, the scripture said the Jews were stubborn. He knew that and still talked to them for his people's sake.
Okay, I think. Look, I don't agree with anything you just said on your last response, but what I'm trying to say is, you don't believe. You're not a believer.
That's
if
irrelevant.
Christ was walking today,
That's irrelevant.
No. If Christ was walking today, do you think he would be trying to convert you?
Okay, again, you're using certain language that I don't agree with. If the Bible is real and Jesus is a real person and he has these miracles, he's born from this, he comes from God, whatever, how you want to use it. He's the son of God, however you believe him to be, right? He's an important figure where salvation comes to him. I believe he's going to give an asserted effort to save his people. And he's going to leave it on them to turn away.
Okay, well, with that last, what you just said, okay, I agree. And that's the take I have on it. Yes, I'm going to give a concerted effort to advise you on what I think is the most efficient way to live your life, the best way, the most moral way. The path is going to lead you to success. I agree. But if you turn away, okay.
Okay, that's a different story. But none of us talked today where we use an example of somebody turning away. That's not what we did. Okay, so the fact that somebody's debating with you, my brother, the fact that you're debating, that means they didn't turn away. Okay, turning away means I don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone. Go your way. I go my way. The fact that somebody's debating with you is evidence that they are interested still.
Oh, so you are interested. So in the Bible.
No. I'm saying, look, I'm using like the Bible example. I'm saying not just Bible example, brother. You got to be willing to listen.
I am listening.
I'm saying, coming from a Christian evangelist, a Christian missionary, if they're out there teaching, so I'm coming from their angle. Okay, the people who are willing to debate them shows an interest. And
I agree.
Okay, the person who does not debate and turn their, lock the door, shut the door, that person is done. You don't go back.
I agree.
Okay. So I'm just speaking for those who are actually contending with me.
So that doesn't apply to you?
How does it apply to me?
I'm asking. You are debating the Bible.
No, I'm not. No, I don't.
You're not.
My show, we never talk about Bible on my show.
You never talk about Bible on your show.
No. Can you give me a live where we discuss the Bible?
We just spoke on the Bible yesterday.
No. Hassan brought it up, my brother. Hassan, a Muslim. He's religious.
You interjected on that.
Okay, because and I think I got you. You're mixing things up. The Bible is a book, and it's in English, and I read it. Right. So I can argue for the sake of arguing, but that don't mean that I'm really into the argument as far as like how you and he would be. Because he's a Muslim, he believes in his way, and you believe in your way. That's a difference. So you guys are really arguing out of passion, right, and concern. When I argue the Bible, I'm not doing that. I'm arguing the Bible just by what it says. I don't care about somebody's salvation. I don't care about passion. I don't give a shit one way or another. So I'm not doing that. So when I do it, it's out of just the word. So for example, the Santa Claus story is fake. I think we both agree with that. But if somebody comes to your face and tell you that Santa Claus did not have reindeers, according to the story, he had a bunch of dolphins, you're gonna say no, he didn't. Now that doesn't mean that you agree with the story. It's just that you're saying that's not the story says. That's so when I talk Bible, that's the narrative I'm going with. I'm not going with Israel. I'm going with that's not what it says.
Okay, I understand. I kind of got lost on where we were going with this.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, because I remember we were talking about leaderships or whatever.
That's a rabbit hole. That's what rabbit holes do. You dig?
Yeah.
Rabbit holes take you away from the original point, and it has you talking about something totally separate and different. Yeah. So back to leadership. So anyway, your position. So I'll let you lead off with that. So you was talking about the mayor and how you hold him accountable, right, for the city.
No, I don't. I don't hold them accountable. I don't think it. Okay, so I know how it's supposed to work in theory.
Right.
And in theory, yes, I was saying that a leader should know how to lead his people. it doesn't matter how savage and rebellious they are, he should lead them. And I understand there are limitations on the mayor, and I agree with you that we hold this guy as if he's supposed to do everything perfect. I disagree that the Israelites are blaming him for a lot in general, because generally speaking, over the whole any Hebrew camp, we don't care who's in office because we don't think they're going to do anything anyway.
Of course, I know that. You the Nation of Islam. I know that. I know that. And I'm saying that as well. I'm saying that, and because of that, you are judging not you, plural. Many people that hold that position are judging the mayor unfairly. Like they don't necessarily know his actual duties and what he said he's going to do and what he actually has done. I think when people that don't know the role of a mayor, governor, president, councilman, and whoever
So on
else,
and so forth. Yeah, I got
right?
you.
They don't really know their roles, so they hold them to the salvation role, where they look at them as to solve all the problems. And when they don't do that, they say failed.
I mean, I don't even have an argument for that. I don't even have an argument for that. I don't think the mayor. I mean, I don't know what we expect from the mayor. What do we want? Keeping it real, we don't even really have a black community to even ask for anything. We don't.
Now you have black dominant communities. You definitely do.
Yeah, but they're not. It's not a culture. It's not a. It's. We're not a. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not like a distinctive culture. It's a conglomerate. It's a mixture of a bunch of different black people who want different things. It's not one organized culture or one organized group of people.
So you think white cultures are organized? You don't think that they have different beliefs in that culture? They differ?
No, they have a lot of different special interest groups.
That's normal, right?
And they're advocating for their own leader from their own special interest group to represent that specific group. But black people are looking.
We do the same thing.
No, black people are divided into these special interest groups, and we're looking at one black person to do everything for all of those groups.
I disagree. I disagree. I think you have black folks that have issues in the community and they want resolution, and they're looking at who's on the ballot. If they're not on the ballot, a lot of people are homegrown from the city, and they're pushing them.
Whatever one, black people usually vote as one group, period. We all know that. Democrat. Whoever the Democrat is.
Yeah, but they don't vote for, but there's a bunch of Democrat candidates, and they don't vote for any one. They vote for the one that they believe have their best interests.
And even
so I'll tell you example. So in my city, we got guys, I'm in a barbershop with DJ Focus. Hassan used to go there. So, and we had black young politicians. DJ Focus knows his name. Light skin dude. I forgot his name, but he was homegrown. He was in the barbershop. He started to be interested, or he probably always was, but when I took him seriously, I seen him actually, in these positions, right, and voting and asking for votes. He asking for votes, all that type of stuff. But hold on one second.
Yeah, I know it.
Hold on one second. Hey. You get a phone yet? Huh? You get a phone? Phone?
Right here.
God, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, hold on one second.
But anyway, go ahead.
No, I don't really have any. I don't really have anything to say about it. Um, I mean, overall, I kind of agree with you. I don't know. I don't know what black people are asking for. Because when you say black people, it's just a lot of groups. It's a lot of subgroups included in that, all asking for different things. We're not united, and honestly, I don't even like to refer to as black people, but you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, we're divided. We're not united. It's not. There's no community. There's no nation. There's no culture. There's no tribe. It's I don't know. Like really, it's some kind of like imaginary shit that we talking about, really.
All right. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Yeah, people flagging me out, trying to talk to me. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. All right. So, no. Oh, can you do me a favor? Can you post the link inside the chat?
Post the link inside the chat. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, while you're doing that, um, what that brings us to the topic, right? So the topic is save the hood, right? That's the title of the live. It's save the hood, right? Because we are, and the hood is messed up. And I only thought about that topic because I'm riding through Newark, and I can only read about New York, uh, Detroit, Chicago, the cities you name, St. Louis, and the other ones are horrible, right? They're predominantly black, and that's where the discussion really started from when we segued from obesity. We started talking about that. So I was saying, these places are majority black, and you brought the mayor, right? I guess my question to you and to the chat is: at what point are the people held accountable for their own conditions? Okay, let's forget about mayors. Like you said, like you don't believe the answers come from mayors and those governors and those people. Um, okay, cool. What accountability do the people have for their own condition? Because Newark is animalistic. It's black ran, black everybody, black cops, animalistic.
Okay, so the reason I brought up them, okay, I remember now. I remember where I was going. Because before I said the mayor, I mentioned principles. It starts
Yeah,
with principles.
yeah.
People have to decide on and evaluate their principles. They have to gain principles first, which also goes back to how we were talking about discipline earlier. Uh, it starts with principles, and it starts with individual accountability to hold themselves to these principles, and then it there's a chain effect. You know, each one teach one. We really are monkey see, monkey do. You know what I'm saying? If one person starts doing it, you know, we pick up things from other people. You know what I'm saying? And but after the individual accountability, it requires organization. The people have to come together, and people can't come together unless there's trust, which further intensifies my point on the principles. There has to be trust because people have to come together, and then when people come together, they elect leaders. Leaders are going to just naturally occur because that's just how it is. That's how it is in the animal kingdom, and that's how it is in with humans also. That's just how it is. There will become a natural hierarchy in a sense, and those that become in power or empowered or in stronger or their light shines brighter have to, or those that will gain more influence in however whatever kind of way it comes, to they have to bear more responsibility to look after those who are being influenced. They have to. That just has to be their responsibility. I mean, of course, a person can say, "Nah, I don't want the responsibility," but with to whom much is given, much is required. And I know all of this is coming with religious connotations, but I don't know
Yeah,
where to explain it. But the leaders will have to look after the flock. They're going to have to look after those who are not as strong or as influential, or their light doesn't shine as bright. They're going to have to look after them and teach them and try to keep them in order in a sense. So if the people are not rebellious and then they're smart, they will accept the guidance and the wisdom of that leader. Uh, you know, they will elect him officially and submit to that, and not necessarily him. It could be a her, and submit to that authority. There has to be structure. There has to be some kind of authority. Otherwise, it's not going to be accountable. There has to be leadership or authority, uh, and submission to that authority. But that authority must be elected or won fairly. So that has to happen, and so that's why I brought up the mayor. People elect the mayor to govern them. Mayor governs the people. Uh, it's a two-way service area. They serve the mayor, and the mayor serves them. Uh, that's how it has to be. If the mayor is self-serving or is weak and doesn't want to hold the people accountable, then there are people, what I'm saying, they're going to, they're going to stray. They're going to deviate, and things will get chaotic. That structure has to be held, and right now, I don't feel like we have that structure. Everybody is individual, and as long as I can do whatever I want, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else. But as Hassan was trying to get to yesterday, there's nothing, virtually nothing that we can do on this earth that doesn't have an effect on the earth. There's nothing that we can't even think. There's not even a thought we could think that doesn't have a consequence or a reaction to anyone else. Like, so we have to first understand that, and understand that just living comes with responsibility. But that kind of thought people don't want to accept. So
that's like some lollipop shit right there.
I'm sorry, say that again.
So that's like some lollipop shit right there.
So you don't believe that thinking, or you don't believe that you believe that there are things that we can do that don't affect the others.
Now I said lollipop, and you went to that. You said a lot.
I mean,
Okay.
because I didn't really know what lollipop meant.
Yeah, I'm saying overall, what I gathered from that, the lollipop. I'm
Okay.
saying, when do the people hold themselves accountable for their own condition? That means don't blame anybody but yourself. You're living in society. You are the people committing crimes against each other. You are the people doing these things to each other. Nobody's influencing. You are the police force. You are the mayor. You are the fireman. You're everything else in this goddamn city. You're basically in control of this goddamn thing. But crime is worse here than any other place in the country. When black folks get together, where they control their own environment, circumstances, crimes are the worst in any other part of the country.
So I honestly, okay, I understand what you're saying. I understand exactly the the individual is already, there are individuals already holding themselves accountable. The problem is those people have not organized yet. That organization is a requirement. The people who hold themselves accountable right now are largely, um, you know, unorganized. They have not structured and organized. They're dispersed. They're living as individuals, and the groups that are organizing are small right now. You know what I'm saying? From my perspective, that's what the Hebrew camps are doing. We are organizing with people of like principles, but that that group is relatively small. The group that you belong to or that you organize is relatively small right now. There are a lot of people who don't think like you. You know what I'm saying? Those people who are holding themselves accountable, that aren't blaming everyone else, I would like to include myself in that because that's what I believe I am. I'm not. I believe that I hold myself accountable. Uh, that I live by my principles, and that I try to, help everyone that I can. Uh, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not a very powerful person, and I am not the most organized person or the most social person or the most patient person. I am social, but I'm not really patient, but anyway, I would need to organize more and involve myself more with people like me, which would be my camp. That has to happen, and there has to be a certain amount of numbers. It's going to be it's a process, So I feel like the individuals, yeah, are holding themselves accountable. But
Okay.
even those of us who think we are might be we're fallible. We might be wrong about our principles. You understand? I'm pretty sure you understand that. For example, I'm religious. You would think that some of my principles and beliefs are destructive. You understand? So the
Nah,
two,
nah, not necessarily. I think your principle is just religious. Like, so when you give your perspective, even like yesterday on abortion, whatever, I don't think they're destructive. I don't like at least on that one. I don't think they're destructive. I just think
I'm saying some of my beliefs you may believe are
yeah.
dis-
So I'll tell you right now the problem I have with your belief system. The fact that you believe white folks are innately evil, like that's the part where
I don't believe that.
okay. So do you believe white folks are Esau?
Yes, I believe a lot of them are descendants of Esau, but
What
that
you mean a lot of them? So which ones aren't?
I mean that there's so many people. I would
Okay, give me just no, just give me the countries. Which ones are not Esau? Because it's
yeah,
the first one.
it
This is
doesn't
this.
work like that.
Okay, okay. Look, you got Europe. You got Europe. But do you
Right?
think Europe Esau?
No,
So So which countries is Germany Esau? Russia.
the Germans, the Ashkenaz have a lot of Edomites. Yes,
Okay.
Russia has
So
has some Edomites. Yes,
okay.
Turkey
So
has Edomites.
okay. So let's start here. And I don't want to go past this because I'm not trying to make it like a biblical
Right?
discussion. Well, you answered it. So you basically answered. So you don't think all white folks are Esau?
No,
Okay, cool.
and I don't think making you Esau makes you inherently evil either.
Uh, when it comes to Hebrew Israelites, are white folks in that?
I know where you're going, and that I would have an argument. I disagree. I disagree with the Israelites that would be on that. I know they would accuse me of saying that I'm trying to save the white man or I love the white man or whatever.
Yeah.
That I have that argument with some of my brothers too, and I definitely don't love the white man.
Yeah, no. It got nothing to do with that.
No,
Because
I'm just putting it on record.
because myself, I'm pro-vaccine, and then you'll have a dumb, stupid nigga will say, "I love the white man." It's like, dude,
Yeah.
it's
I know. That's ignorant.
yeah,
That's
okay.
ignorant.
See, but I can't associate myself. See, when I was in Nation of Islam, I left because I couldn't associate myself with niggas who think like that.
Well,
It's like my man. You think because I accept this fact and this evidence, you believe this is supporting the white man? Okay, so now at this point, I don't see how you're any different than a white extreme racist because both of y'all believe you're superior, both of y'all deny the evidence, and both of y'all believe if there's any person who has a sound mind, they're an op. You dig? So
so that right there is key to what you just said. People with sound minds, people who can actually, think, you know, and and they act or they live based on, reality. A lot of people don't. A lot of people are programmed. Even some that think they know shit or are religious or like for okay, there is a huge stigma on religious people being stupid. You know what I'm saying? Being brainwashed. And I am a religious person, but I understand why we have that stigma. I understand why because a lot of us are.
right,
Even some of the very people in my camp,
99%.
even some of the people that believe the exact same thing I believe in my camp, I am able to detect that these guys are really brainwashed. They don't really
Yeah,
understand
yeah, and I
what it
can't be
is.
around them.
They don't really understand what it is that they're reading like they think they understand. They don't.
Right,
They
right.
kind of live in a fairy tale world. So look, I understand that. That's why I don't really get offended by that. I understand what it is you're saying, but the way I chalk it up is there. People have different intelligence level, and the higher the intelligence level, the lower the population of people he's going to be able to relate to are. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not going to understand it. You know what I'm saying? You got to meet people where they at. When we were
Right.
in school, and you took those standardized testing, you know what I'm saying? There might have been like 80,000 people in the 60 percentile, but when you get to the 95th percentile, there's only hundreds or thousands of people. It's not a whole lot of people up there. So you have to live your life with that understanding, and that you're gonna find those kind of disparities in whatever category you go to. So I understand what you're saying with that, and I actually agree. But you cannot, you have to, you can't throw out the baby with the bathwater. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
There's still some good stuff that you can learn from the nation.
Nah, I'll throw them niggas right out. Hey, yo, so let me ask you this. Mama, oh my God. I just had it for you to make that last statement and then went away.
My fault, man.
I was holding on to, I was ready to eat that last thing, but then I said she, and that threw me completely off. So let me just backtrack of what you were saying. You were saying that there are some people that are just brainwashed and they're gonna hold on to whatever they're gonna hold on to regardless of what. And okay, so I kind of my point will come back. Okay, it just for the moment is gone. For the moment is gone. So anyway, let me just respond to that, to what you were saying about there's some people. All right, so for me, I can't be around anybody who has. I'm not saying forever. I'm just saying starting off, or ideally, I can't be around anybody that has been presented with absolute truth, absolute facts, and they still want to disagree and hold on to a personal belief. See, at that point, you're not my brother. You're not my sister. At that point, you have your own agenda while you're here. And you're hurt. It's possible you just hate white people. So you join what I joined for different reasons. I joined here to make a change in the Black community, and I believe this doctrine is for Black people. You joined because you believe this doctrine hates white folks, and this is a vessel for you to spew it.
Okay, I agree with you. That those are conflicting principles, and you can't be a man of your principle and accept and function with someone with conflicting principles. You can't. So that's how I would describe that, and I agree with you. I'm the same way. I'm
Yeah,
here.
yeah. So that's what got me out of a lot of religion, because I just can't be in a, the Bible says something similar. Okay, the proper it's basically you say hang around people think like you, paraphrasing. So I really can't just deal with people, and I deal with people. I deal with people. Focus knows some of them. Tatiana knows some of them. The people I was hanging with that's supposed to believe like me, but just was radical as hell. I try to be patient with them. I try to share certain things with them, but they just had their own agenda, and it was really built on hate. And I'm like, I got to separate myself from you, because you the type of person that go shoot up the damn mall, and I'm getting indicted too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you hate white folks so much.
Yeah, I know what you said.
Yeah,
I know.
like you're not here for the truth. So we will have our studies, and bro, they just stupid. Like they just not interested at all. They just focus on the Esau, that, and John 8. What's that 8? What's that 40? I think it was. I don't know whichever one to call.
They're not trying to love their brother and their neighbor like they love themselves. They
Right.
just want to go,
white
violence on their enemy. They don't.
Yeah,
They don't
that's
care
all.
about the love part. They just
Right. And so what I'm saying is, it's not. It's got nothing to do with you, because your brother's probably not even into that. I'm just saying, for anybody in any organization or any group or any home study, if you are surrounded people like that, you are no different than what you blame white folks. Because when it comes to white folks, right, a lot of white folks did not do heinous crimes towards Black folks, but they were complicit, right? They didn't take a hard stance against the white folks who were. So for that reason, we look at them all the same.
right.
No different than a police officer who's violating your rights and violating you dig? And the other cop who ain't violating you and thinks he's wrong, but the fact he didn't step up and stop that cop or check him and pull him aside, you look at them both the same, and most likely sometimes they both get indicted.
Right.
If there's any indictment at all. But you don't see them any different. The person being violated, dig? So like that's my kind of advice to people who are in these groups, in these homes or gatherings, man. Separate yourself from that person who's radical. Like separate, try to accompany yourself with people who are sound-minded and believe like you, or at least if they don't believe like you, like they're reasonable. You can like make your point and it's heard. They might still disagree, but they understand where you're coming from. They don't think you're crazy. They don't think you're cooning and nothing like that. They actually understand where you're coming from. Because I'm trying to tell you, if we hold the other position, not just name, we're no different than what we call white.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you 1,000. I agree with you 1,000.
Yeah. So, with that being said, I got a body straight. So with that being said, are there anybody like that in your group?
In my group,
Yeah.
not that I know of.
Right. So you should
especially not in my particular camp. My particular camp is a little bit softer than it's a lot softer. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, my camp, they consider most of the other camps consider the Christians of Israelites.
Okay. Yeah. Could I be a guest speaker at your camp?
Could you be a guest? No, I don't think they would allow you.
Oh my God! Why, bro? See, that's what y'all say. You guys,
it's not because it's not that you would have to come with what message you're trying to bring. You know what I'm saying? You would have to, you know what I'm saying? You would have to present that to my elder, and then my elder would have to approve it.
Nah,
It
yeah,
really,
he
it really just
probably,
depends. It really just depends on what message you're trying to bring. You're not going to just come in and just freestyle. He's not going to allow that.
nah, y'all can shut my mic off like Star and Buck Wild. You know, I think he just, if I start saying something crazy,
Nah.
shut my
So
mic off.
that he wouldn't do that.
Me up.
If he invites you to if he invites you to speak, he's not going to shut your mic.
All right, so my message is gonna be just okay. So my
Like
message,
if you were talking about what you just spoke about right now about
yeah,
separating yourself
yeah.
from these guys acting out of hate, and they're not concerned with with any kind of better or improvement. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he would allow that. He would like we would
So
speak that.
what if I wanted to prove that Joseph is the father?
I'm sorry, say that again.
I'm sorry. What if I want to prove Joseph is not the father of Jesus?
Not the biological father.
Yeah.
So he would let you come argue your point, but he's not going to let you teach that in front of everyone.
Really?
Nah, he wouldn't.
You see what I'm saying? Protecting the sheep.
Well, yeah, I mean, because we have an organization. I don't know any organization that would. Now he's
Yeah,
not
no,
he's not going to
America.
forbid. If you wanted to host your own event and prove that, he's not going to forbid anybody from going. That's not what he's going to do. But you're not going to come into our organization where we pay the rent and try to teach against that. Nah, that's not right.
Hey, you know what? I came to Stop and Shop. Well, shop, what is it? Start right. And it just closed on me. I got to walk out. But I grabbed some things, but I forgot I came here to buy. I got a couple things, but I don't even know what I came here to buy. Okay. Oh yeah, I know. I know. Okay, I remember that. I need spaghetti sauce. See, I've been making spaghetti. I've been making off topic. I've been making spaghetti. This gonna be the fourth, fifth day in a row. I've just been like having this urge for spaghetti with turkey meat. Yeah, yeah. So I get what you're saying. Um, I'm just messing with you, but I get what you're saying. Okay. So let me see if I got anything. Well, what about you? Would you be open to a dialogue or something like that?
Yeah, I've had a dialogue before. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, I think I had a minor dialogue with you before too.
Yeah. Now we really ain't go into it because I will only give my position in the like a debate forum. So we definitely ain't talk about it. But you know what? Did you know Napasha die?
No,
Sanetta's wife?
no.
Okay. Well, she's an Israelite woman, and we had a
You said
discussion.
she is or she was.
She is. She still is.
She's still an Israelite.
Yeah.
What? I didn't know that.
Why would she give up her lineage?
Why would she give up her what?
Her lineage.
You said lineage or
Her lineage. Why would she give it up? Because she believes that's what she is.
Oh, okay, okay. I mean, I understand what you're saying now. Yeah, her her nationalistic view
Her
doesn't
nationality.
influence
Right.
her religious. Okay, yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Just because.
I'll try. I gotta speak in like several different languages. I don't know who I'm talking to, who understands what. So when you say things, I need you to clarify. Even though I might understand what you're saying, I might ask you to clarify. I'm not trying to be stupid or trying to be deceptive. That's why, because some people know that we are referring that to a nationalistic stance, and some people don't. Some people associate that with religious beliefs. Some people don't. Some people will be like, it's not a religious belief, and religion is bad. The rest of the world is looking at it like a religion. So Yeah, I understand. I gotta, these things are got it. The conversations and the dialogues have to be intimate. So, to the person I'm talking to, and I try to meet people where they at. But yeah, you're a lot sharper than most people are because a lot of people don't recognize that.
Yeah, hold on one second. Hold on one. Hold on one second. I'm checking out. I forgot one more thing I got to get for my spaghetti. But I'm trying to get this nigga attention. He's talking to somebody else. He's talking to a coworker. And I ain't trying to leave my stuff here. You know, put it back. Hold on. Excuse me. I forgot one more thing I gotta get my stuff right there. And I'm just saying I want to put it back. Yeah. I was right there. This clone ass nigga. All right, yeah. So anyway, my point of mentioning her is that we brought it up, and she came from the standpoint that Joseph is the biological father. I'm trying to tell you, but you might not know this, but that's a One West doctrine, and I don't know anybody. That's a One West doctrine, and that's the Nation of Islam doctrine. I don't know any other belief system that believes that Joseph is the father, other than One West doctrine and Nation of Islam. So that's just that's what he was talking before. Just because you don't know that doesn't mean that that's not the truth. So I don't know another belief system that believes
There were actual councils. There were actual councils, discussing this too. It's not really a new argument. So you can't really say that one
So so
West.
I, so, I, so I'm asking. So okay. So then I'm asking you, what other belief system that you know of that's aside from Nation of Islam and the One West doctrine that says Joseph is the biological father according to the Bible?
I mean, well, I don't know of any
Okay.
specific groups like
There you
that,
go.
but what I do know is that is not that frame of thought wasn't authored by One West members or the Nation of Islam.
Okay. Well, again, you seem it seems like you come from the state of don't know, and then you
Right.
still continue to talk on it like you know. Okay.
No,
So
okay. So what I'm saying is I can't refer to a specific group, but I know that we didn't just spring that thought up. There were actual councils. Give me a second. I can present you the council where they were discussing this, which proves that hundreds of years ago, someone else thought this also. You know what I'm saying? It's not something we just made up.
yeah, but can you tell me who it was?
Not right now, no.
Okay. So I mean, I don't know. Again, like you might not be used to the panel, you might not be used to the Anwar Star or Dagger Squad channel, but or even Mossy Squad, Mossy Clan channel or
You remember yesterday when I said I read and I heard somewhere that the world can fit in the styles can fit in
yeah,
Texas.
the polite
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. And
Yeah.
you said I got that from Polite, and I said nah. I'm pretty sure I did not get that from Polite. I know, and if I did get it from Polite, he did. It wasn't his own original thought. He read that or heard that somewhere. But I was pretty sure I didn't get it from Polite because I don't listen to Polite. I stopped listening to Polite probably in like
Okay.
2011. So
Yeah.
I knew I didn't get it from Polite, but I heard it somewhere. But you knew Polite said it. And I'm not disagreeing with you that Polite said it. But so you made me pull up an article where someone else said it, and I was right.
No, I actually no. Somebody didn't say it. You actually read it somewhere. That's a different scenario. Because all information is it is good truthful information is documented somewhere. So just because you looked it up don't mean you heard somebody say it. You just looked it up. So basically information can be verified on the internet, as we all know.
So you
Okay,
think
so
Polite was the author of that discovery?
if I can just finish the last thought, all I'm saying is this: I do know Polite said it.
Right.
Okay, you heard it somewhere. and you don't know if it's polite or not, no problem. You Google it, no problem. But unless you had this weird epiphany to just say, hey man, I wonder if the world could fit in text. Let me Google this shit. Unless you had that weird epiphany, that means you heard somebody say it before. Okay? So and I'm just saying, if not polite, who? Then who?
I'm just saying One West is not the author of that school of thought. I agree that I heard it from One West. Like I don't have a problem admitting that. But we didn't One West, and I'm including myself in One West. We didn't
Hold on,
originally.
no. Hold on, you just argue me like a hell.
No, listen to my argument. We did not originate that school of thought.
Huh?
That's not we're not the author of that school of thought.
What school of thought?
That Joseph is the biological father of Christ.
Okay, look. So since you want to go there, the author of it, I never claimed. Okay, I don't know the author of it. I'm saying using it in modern debates.
Okay, all right. Okay, I got you.
One West, Nation of Islam, right? And that's not to say anything like that. That's not to prove. So when I say that, that's not a major point. That's not to prove anything, right?
No, I got you. Matter of fact, I kind of agree with you. You know what I'm saying? Like I agree with you. Like I don't have a problem with you phrasing it that way. I guess the way you phrased it, I didn't really understand what you meant. But now that you're clarifying, I agree, and I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. So for that reason, DJ Focus is Nation of Islam, and you are Hebrew. That's perfect. So I want to later on, so another time, the weekday will probably be most likely weekday, right? I want to have that conversation with you and DJ Focus because both of you agree on Joseph being a biological father. I disagree, and I'm willing to have that discussion with you guys, you know, on the live. The chat will be bored, but that's something I always want to do. Now, Kachi, I'm going to tell you, okay? I can only give you my experience, okay? I have yet to meet the Israelite who was willing to debate me on that. And we're talking about, huh?
I'm free Friday. I should be off Friday.
So I just want to tell you, when Pastor Bennett and Tazar, do you know who Pastor Bennett is?
I've heard the name. I hadn't listened to him, but I know he's been on Sinetta. I've seen the highlights.
What about the captain Tazaria?
Of course.
Okay, so those two debated, and they mentioned that a little bit, or not really. They mentioned is the Israelites Gentiles, and that's a nut, or is the Gentile Israelites, can the Gentiles be saved? That's another topic I'm willing to entertain. So two topics in the Bible that I'm willing to entertain. One is Joseph the biological father, and the second one, can the Gentiles be saved? Those two topics against any Israelite on this earth, I'm willing and ready to debate that. It won't take me a long time to sharpen up my notes.
I'm willing to well, on the issue about Gentile being saved, we would have to define what saved means first. If you define what saved,
so can they be in the sheepfold when Jesus comes back to redeem his own, right? Are they considered Jesus' own?
Yes. Some of them will, yes.
Okay, that's all. Right. So Captain doesn't believe so.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
I know he doesn't.
But,
I disagree.
But you believe.
I respect him. But I disagree.
So anyway, so I told Pastor Bennett, I said, Pastor Bennett, if you're going to debate the captain on those things, now, because the pastor came to my live before. This is way before, like my other channel got terminated. I had a slight more buzz. I had a better buzz on my other channel, slightly. You dig? But I would say I had more conscious celebrity appearances than I do now. Like Sinetta's come through.
I remember Sinetta coming.
Right. A couple people come through. You know, Miss Inky, yeah, you know, what I mean, the celebrities of the conscious community will come through. All right. So anyway, with that being said, Pastor Bennett came through, Sister Naya, and I said, Pastor Bennett, I said, listen, bro, if you're gonna debate the captain on that, you need to invite me or help, or you should have me in your research team. You should dialogue with me because you don't know his argument, I do. And what Captain gonna get you, Captain gonna get you. You know, he's real good with his slick talk. And he didn't do that. He you know, for that reason, he did his own way, and they had a discussion. And I don't know how it turned out, but I didn't hear Captain lost, and that's disappointing because
Yeah,
I believe
I keep hearing that one. And
right. So exactly,
he won anyway. So
you see what I'm saying? And
yeah.
that shouldn't have been the case. And I was trying to let Pastor Ben know, like, listen, bro, like, not only is he a slick talker, you want to know a heads up on what he's going to use and what his talking points. The pastor went in there blind, and I heard he took an L. So that's what happens, you know what I mean, when you don't know the other person's argument. You know, you just believe this is going to be a wash. That's not so. So when it comes to Joseph being a father, I don't know your argument. I do know DJ Focus argument, and he thinks they're strong. They're weak as hell. Okay, but you might even agree they're weak as hell, but he thinks they're strong. First of all, he's Muslim. He thinks Islam. He don't know the Bible. That's not his book, and that's his first problem. You dig? Like his book is a Nation Islam book. It's not even the Quran. That's his first problem. Like the Bible, like I know more Bible than DJ Focus facts. There's no debate there. And he gonna have a problem. That's why I want you on the panel, because in my opinion, he's too easy. So I want you on the panel also.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, like I said, I'm free Friday. I'm off Friday, and if you want to do it sooner, then we're gonna have to play it by ear. But I know for a fact I should.
What's Elder Gabar camp name? I forgot.
GOCC.
There you go, dude. I was dealing with some of his members. I made videos. I was challenging him on what he said with the whole Jesus thing. Joseph being the father, I challenged him as members. Nobody wanted smoke, man. Zero.
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep it real with you. It's funny because I'm part of GOCC, and and that when I was saying earlier, you know, about, you know, some of the people in my camp, you know, they're not studious like that. They're not scholars like that. You know, they're religious and they don't realize how they are. Even though we agree on the same principles and we agree on you know, the end point and everything, how we've come to that conclusion is not the same. And I recognize that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I know that about GOCC, and you know, we are a large part of our body are sheep. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I you know, I do recognize that. So yeah, nobody in GOCC.
Yeah. I was real close to joining GOCC, and I was real close to joining the Comfort. You know the Comforter?
Yeah. I've heard of him. I don't know anybody in it, but I
right. So I think he's Israel United and God and something like that. Okay, so I was real close to joining both of them. Only one doctrine or one belief system which held me back. And for GOCC, of course, it was Joseph. It's funny because they are opposite. GOCC says Joseph is not the father, but I mean he is the father, but Gentiles can be saved, right? Some. The Comforter said Joseph is not the father, the Gentiles cannot be saved. If one of them would have just amended that, I was all in. so I used to listen to both of them because GOCC agreed that Gentiles can't be saved. And a lot of my information came from them on that, a lot of my argument. And the Comforter, when it came to Joseph, he was the first one to prick my brain on that one because I was in the mindset of Joseph is the father. So when they went against that, and they wasn't debating GOCC, by the way, they was debating Nathaniel, you know, Israel United in Christ. Right. They were debating them. So No, I'm sorry. They was debating. Really, they was just debating GMS. I'm sorry.
Okay. GMS.
Yeah. So the Comforter nemesis was GMS. It's funny because Nathaniel nemesis was GMS. So everybody hated GMS. But
So do
but
you
guy,
you know who Brother Daniel Allah is, right?
yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. Lions of Israel, I feel like they do the best. Well, as far as camps go, there are some other organizations, Israelite organizations, I could point you to. But anyway, I can argue it also. I can argue it also. But I will also reference who I got my understanding on. Or I'll source. I'll source my. I give my sources, and I'll also
So
reference my
which
teachers.
camp did you get your which camp influence? You said brother Daniel.
Well, I'm part of GOCC. I'm part
right,
of.
I know that, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like you said Daniel Allah.
Yeah, the Lions of Israel.
Okay, I would love because I like GOCC, right? I'm a little biased, but the thing, Lions of Israel, I don't really know them, and I'm gonna be honest. Back when I was a Hebrew, like that camp was under the radar. Like nobody really knew who the hell they were. Like they were not a big deal at all. And this is not a shot. I'm just telling you, when I was in the movement, that camp was nothing. You dig? Nobody knew who the hell they were. Matter of fact,
Nobody knew who GOTC was, or nobody knew.
No. Nobody knew who were Lions of Israel. Like
oh,
they
yeah,
were,
yeah, of course.
yeah, they were nobody. And also, ISUPK was a nobody. They became big off Sinetta alone. Okay, so the biggest camps with Nathaniel, the GOCC, it was the Comforter, and it might have been a few House of David and a few other camps that was big. But ISUPK and Lions of Israel were nobody.
Yeah, you're a little bit older. No, I know that because you're a little bit older than I am. So yeah, a lot of these spin-off camps really happened. I want to say like in the late '90s. So yeah.
And Sinetta is the reason why we know Daniel Allah. He's the reason why we know ISUPK. So what I'm trying to say is, like, they didn't put in the real work to gain recognition. You dig? Because I seen Elder Gabar in front of Walgreens teaching. I seen his progression from there. I seen when he was moving, when they was traveling to different, I think Israel. I witnessed all that in my own eyes. Okay, I witnessed Nathaniel 7 grow. I witnessed other camps grow. ISUPK never grew in that time. They never grew. GMS grew like hell.
ISUPK, you're saying they didn't grow because
they were very small in numbers. That's what I'm trying to say, brother. They were very small.
Yeah, but they also splintered. Also, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and guess what? And those camps was very small numbers. Yeah, many camps splintered, but they were very small numbers. How about Brother Zabok? See, I know his camp. We got next. They went to the West Coast. I know about the how about the New York camp with the big black dude? I forgot their name, but they were part of We Got Next, but not really. They had their own little shit. But they were New York Israelites. I think on 125. I don't know where they were, but they was on New York, and they was very, very popular. And they got a lot of views. They were very, very popular. So I'm saying I listen to all these guys.
No, and, I can tell you do. I can tell you do.
Yeah, and ISUPK, believe me, bro, they were not a factor in the Israelite movement. Nobody was checking for them. That's all I'm trying to say.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
And nobody checking for them. Everybody checking for at GOCC, the Comforter, Israel United in Christ, camps like that. People, Pastor Tony Smith, people like that, they were checking for it. Nobody checking for ISUPK.
I mean, well, you live in the New York area too, right?
Yeah, I'm in Jersey.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
the Comforter ran New York, New Jersey. All right.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I don't live up there, so I don't have.
The Comforter, I think they call it Israel something and God and Jesus Christ. They ran New York, New Jersey. As a matter of fact, I don't believe there's another camp other than like Ben Yami, whatever his name is. I don't think there's an Israelite camp bigger than the Comforters camp. They were the largest at that point. They was like thousands deep way back then.
But if I'm not mistaken, though, the Comforter came from ISUPK.
Nah, he came from One West. He never came from ISUPK.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm using the term interchangeably. My fault.
Right. Right. So actually, he was a big dog in there though. Like he wasn't a
Yeah, I know.
small fry. Right. So when he left, he left with the big dogs also that left from that. I forgot what was his name. The brother that left with them that was big in big in One West, and like yeah, he was an elder, so he left with an elder.
Yeah. I know the history of it. I've heard it, but
Yeah.
I'm not old enough to know any of these guys personally, and I'm not from the New York area. I lived in
Yeah.
Philly for a couple years, which is how I got my introduction. But you know what I'm saying, this is a little bit before my time. I was born in '87.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think GLCC was Philly.
Yeah, they started in Philly. Yep.
Yeah, he was from that Walgreens right there. I know. And then I'm telling you, bro, I know who was big because at that point, bro, you was big not because of your camp. You was big because you're the person who was orating the message.
Right.
Elder Gabar did a hell of a job with the message, man. It was beautiful. Nobody from General Yohana wasn't known as a great. Come on, man.
Well, I mean, he's still not a great orator.
Right. But you got to understand, bro. At that time, there was no Captain. He wasn't. He wasn't. Nah, there was another brother. It was short and stubby who was known
Hispanic.
like to do all the speaking.
Hispanic.
Now I'm talking about the guy looks black to me. He was like more of a brown skin black. He was known as more of an orator, second to Junior Yohana. Like I learned about Captain Dusanetta. Like I never knew him as when watching the videos of the camps. I didn't know him to be frontline, be speaking like that. It was other brothers. There's another big brute dudes to talk. But Captain, bro, I rarely ever seen him on video. When they showed their videos on YouTube, I rarely ever seen the Captain. So he was a star, in my opinion, okay? Humbly, not shot. But I believe Sanetta made him. I don't believe he made himself. But GOCC, the Gabar, Nathaniel Seven, these guys named Barack Shaw, these guys made themselves.
Well, I'm gonna speak up for Daniel Isla, because he to say that Sanetta made him is he probably did give him a lot of views. I can credit that because I didn't know who Daniel Isla was until he appeared on Sanetta. I did know who Hashar was of the AOC. I did know who he was, and I actually saw him in New York, but I didn't know who Daniel Wilder was until Sanetta. So I will render that point, but to say he didn't do the work, nah.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, okay, for example, Bob Arum glorified Lomachenko. He glorified Oscar De La Hoya.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, he did not glorify Mayweather. Mayweather actually glorified, right? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So right.
I can get that. I render that point.
So I watched Elder Gabar start from nothing in front of Walgreens in Philly. Preach, and people gathered because they love listening to him. That's what I'm trying to say. They gathered to him. Brother Zabot, people gathered because they love to hear Brother Zabot. I don't know of a huge gathering that was around Daniela.
Okay, yeah, man. I don't have a point with that. I don't have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I don't know. Daniela would have to defend himself. I do respect him a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? And
I respect him too. I'm just going off what I seen in the Hebrew Israelite movement.
Yeah.
I did not see a large movement around Daniela. So right now we can look at. We ain't got to guess and hear testimonies. We can see Nathaniel 7 right now. We can see his lives. You'll see 30,000 live. Some crazy ass views on his shit right now. We ain't got to guess on that. Elder Gabar and the GOCC. We can easily check that live view stream, and we can see thousands of live viewers checking in. Okay, we cannot say the same for the other guys that we named.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I don't. You probably wouldn't know who Daniela was unless you were looking for, so I don't have a problem with that.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not. It's not that he isn't a. No. It's just that we were just speaking of who had the buzz.
No, I got you. I agree.
GMS had probably the biggest influence on all Israel. They had GMS West, GMS East, GMS Midwest. It was all over the damn country.
Yeah, they did.
And even in UK, they had GMS branches in UK. So yeah, so I understand you got great respect for brothers, and no problem. I'm not trying to take away any respect. I'm just
No,
saying, like,
I understand what you're saying.
buzz.
What you're saying is not even disrespectful.
Right.
Yeah. Now that you clarified it, it's really not. You just said like he got a lot of Shanetta added to his followers.
Yeah, definitely.
Significantly, and I agree because I'm a product of him going on Shanetta. I didn't know who he was. Matter of fact, when he first showed up on Shanetta, I thought he was another. I thought he was a lunatic, another religious lunatic, making us look bad. That's really what I thought. But as I actually, tuned in and listened to him speak, I kind of changed my mind about him. I just think that he's a man of great faith, and when you have somebody, because a lot of the Bible does rely on faith, and a lot of people don't really have the understanding of. It takes a lot of research and stuff like that to develop that. So I understand that, but a lot of people don't. So, like, I understand why people look at it as a fairy tale, and why they think that we're crazy to believe some of the things we do. But, I also know that everybody hasn't done all of the research behind a lot of this stuff. So it would sound crazy. Because a lot of people do just believe it, and a lot of people are crazy in it. So I understand the situation that we're up against.
Yeah, so like I said, it's just no knock. It just what it was.
I can kind of tell. You know what I'm saying, that you were a lot more familiar with it than a lot of people that I mean,
yeah. I even know what camp I know what Jeremiah Judah was never in the camp. I know what church he was a part of. Now he denied it because maybe something happened. I don't know.
I heard it, Jeremiah Judah, but I don't really.
Yeah. But Jeremiah Judah, I remember where he was at too. But a lot of brothers. As a matter of fact, what about the brother? I'm gonna get it. Oh, there's another brother. So the comfort name was Tazadaki, right? And there's another brother named Tazadaki. Another one named that he was more thinner. He had locks, and now he teach like law, and like he teach like
Tazadak Shabe.
Yeah, see, brother, I'm trying to tell you, man.
Yeah.
Trying to tell you, I know I used to the same way I researched vaccines and all this Morgan Stanley stuff. I was that dedicated with the Israelite culture. I made sure that if you were teaching, I found you. And I listen to you, and I try to get what I can get out of you.
Yeah, what I am. I listen to a lot of them too. I don't really listen to a whole lot of Tazadak anymore.
I don't know what he do now. I know he be teaching that law stuff now.
Yeah, he's all about the law now. I don't know. I'm kind of weird. A lot of people say don't listen to other camps and stuff like that, but I know the reason.
That's their religious shit.
Well, I think more so what they're trying to do. They're trying to protect the feeble. They're trying to protect weak-minded, confused.
Yeah, but guess what? My brother, that's not the right way. In the real world, you're going to be influenced. And if your doctor, when I was in that belief system, and when I was like the elder or the teacher or however you want to rabbi of my little small group, I didn't give a damn who you talk to. I felt like whatever you brought to me, I was going to destroy him. So it's like, yo, go.
Okay, so you have been in a leadership position, right? You've been in the teaching position, right? And so I'm pretty sure you know, and you've come across, for certain, like some people are slower than others. Some people just dumb.
I get it, but this is why you have your meetings, right? You have your meetings So to answer questions, and what I would do is, and I'm telling you, man, like people could vouch for me. Even when I was a Nation Islam member, bro, I was in a 5%er. I knew my lessons. You dig? And I was part of the group that would question some other people. Like, hey man, what's it, man? What's this? What's that? What's the 1 through 40? Like that's what we did. And not just a 5%er, but even as a Nation Islam, I was cool to say, yo, who's the original man? You dig? And you had to be sharp. Like we'll go around testing you, and they'll test me, and I just accept all challenges. Yeah, come over if you want. Come over here and let me embarrass you. So that was something like we did. So as a Hebrew, and even like with the vaccine thing, like that's just a challenge. Like I should love when people like me and like, what about this? What about that? What about this? You dig? You know, and that's how it was, and that's how I am. So my point is, anybody that's around me, I want you to be as educated as I am. So when I teach chess, I teach these people how to play like me, basically.
No, I mean, I understand. I understand your point, uh, but you don't see there's an issue with teaching people how to play with you. Like, I mean, like you should teach them the fundamentals.
Wait, but that is wait now. Hold up. Now you saying what I should do. Now, first of all, I got my kids are trophied up. Okay. Matter of fact, when they go to competition, they get their own trophy, and I get a trophy if I got the most kids to get a trophy. So I got about 12 trophies. That means 12 times I went there. 12 times my kids dominated the tournament.
So let me correct myself. I'm not. I know I said should, but that's not necessarily what I meant, right? And I'm speaking in theory right now, right? Like,
so should you want to know what I mean by play like me? Should you want to know that?
no, okay. So, like, you want to teach someone. You're skilled at something, right? You're skilled at something.
But hold on, but you might want to know what I mean by that. So I know the fundamentals, I know the basics, so they're gonna learn that. I know
the most efficient way.
No, and when it comes to chess, there are different defenses, like in football, 3-4, 4-3, prevent,
Right,
quarter,
right.
okay. And offenses, I form there's all type of shotgun, West Coast. Okay, I teach a particular opening. So I teach that. I do 2-3 different defenses. I teach that. So that's what I mean playing me. They're gonna learn my defenses, what I use. They're gonna learn my openings, what I use, my offense. They're gonna use that. That's what I mean. So outside the basics, which is a given, the added information is my particular opening and my particular defense. That's what I mean.
Okay, I got you. What I was going to say is, and I don't have a problem with that either. Just why, I'm just trying to make conversation right now. But I was going to say is, so do you, like you teach them the fundamentals, of course, and then you, after the fundamentals, you teach them what you have found to be the most efficient, effective way to win, to succeed.
Yeah, so like when you teach them the basics, and when we say that, that means tactics. Okay, that means strategy.
Right.
Okay, and then you got to play a full game. So when you play a full game, that's like football. That's like, okay, what offense, what play we're going to run.
Right.
So different teams, they favor different things. Some teams favor bootleg, right? And some teams favor shotgun. Some teams favor I form. You know, whatever they do, that doesn't mean a bootleg is better than I form. I form better shotgun. West Coast. It don't mean that. It means who can execute what they practice. So after they learn the basics, then they go to an offense or defense. And what I do is I give them a particular offense. I give them a particular defense, and I try to teach them how to execute it correctly without any mistakes or minimal mistakes. And I show them the different defenses that they're going to use to exploit your offense. So I try to prepare them for these different moves that black is going to do. And if they are black, they're playing defense. I show them okay, if white does this move, you do that move, and this is a counter to that. Okay, but if they do this instead, you do this, and that's a counter to that. And then I got a defense. No matter what white does, you do this because it's a neutral defense. It's gonna neutralize white. There's no quick checkmate. There's no scholars mate. No wayward queen attack. None of that stuff is gonna happen. Like they're gonna neutralize it completely. And so that means white is forced to play a full game. No tactic, no trick is gonna work.
Okay, yeah. So my point with that is when you teach them,
Yeah.
you're relying on them to trust your experience. You know what I'm saying? They're new to this and they haven't played these chess games to know that that's the most effective. You know this.
Yeah.
You have the experience.
Yeah.
They don't know that.
Right.
So what I'm saying is it's kind of different with teaching the Bible.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I got what you're saying. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So in that case, yeah. I don't have no argument.
Okay, yeah. But
Like you said, because first of all, I'm teaching kids. Big difference, right? Kids trust grown-ups.
right.
Adults don't trust grown-ups.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
They want to find out for themselves. But I hear
Exactly.
but I need to know for myself. So let me just go out and do it and let's see how it works out.
Exactly.
Exactly what you're right. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, but yeah, I wouldn't not yeah. Let me just correct myself. I wouldn't try to tell you, oh, you should do this. Yeah, nah. Nah, that's not what I was trying to do. I'm trying to, huh?
And you know what? You okay, the way you said it was, I took it a certain way, but your information behind it doesn't mean that's wrong. You dig? So
Yeah, I understand.
They're wrong with your information behind it. See, that's the thing. I was telling my man earlier. I called this young dude up. So, Katja, let me tell you a little about myself. So, I stayed with the youth. When I say youth, it's under 30. Right? I stay.
You say you was a teacher, right?
Right, but I'm saying outside of that because I go to the gym. Right, in the gym, I realized at least I think for anybody really, for men, I believe the gym is our best source. One of our best sources of networking. So when I go to the gym, I meet so many different people from different, I do hella networking in the gym, right? I love it. And sometimes I don't even play basketball. I go there just to talk and network more. And I meet so many different people from different hoods, different cities, and these people got unbelievable talents and they own certain businesses or they work at certain companies. You wouldn't believe the things that you can do for them, they can do for you, right? So, but a lot of these guys are under 30. So I was telling a guy that does training. He does basketball training. So I called him up, gave him a little advice, a little tips. And I said, dude, basically, I'm giving you some tips, some advice. You take away what you like, what you don't like, just throw away. But just know I'm not giving you advice from a person who hasn't done it and haven't had some success. So I give some background. Like, what I built with my shit in 3 cities, I'm like the most preferred name if you want lessons. Like they're gonna call me in 3 cities. So I'll try to let them know, like, dude, you could be the same way, but I'll try to say it in a nice way, like, dude, you gotta be like put yourself out there. You gotta push, and he probably already doing it. So I was careful the way I said it because my point is when you give somebody advice about what they do, it's kind of almost natural to be offended.
Even though I know exactly what you mean.
So okay, so I see that. Right. So a lot of times people give me great advice, Akaji, and I'll be offended like a motherfucker before I realize, that was good advice.
It's you know what I'm saying, it's human nature. I've been there too.
I'm always offended. All right. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm always offended when somebody attempt to help me be better. I take it as offense always. Yeah, I later on calm down and like, that was pretty good. So, what are your views on? Because Hassan is Muslim, right? Orthodox Muslim,
right?
They focus reps the Nation of Islam. I call Nation of Islam Western Muslim, so I say Western Islam. You got Eastern Islam, which is Orthodox Hassan. Then you got Western, in my opinion, Western Islam. That's fact. Right? So that's what I say. So how do you feel about Islam in general?
I don't think anything about Islam because when I when I have discussions, and I don't look at it's because of how I look at my own religion, and I use the word religion because I know that's how
Right.
the
How the
world
world
looks
looks
at
at
it.
it.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't look at it as a religious view. I really think in terms of science and history. That's how I really look at it. And I know a lot of people going to, they're like, "What science? Science?" Like, no, I really do. I really do look at it as science. You know what I'm saying? I look at is this true? Is it reality? Is it possible? Could it have happened? That's how I look at it. Uh, that's how I look at it. So I don't look at people as Muslims or anything like that. I try to speak with them uh, as individuals to try and to understand what they know and what they don't know, what they believe and what they don't believe, and you know what I'm saying. When I do that on an individual level, because that's how I operate. You could talk to 10 members of GOCC, right, and all
Yeah.
9 of them might agree, but I might not agree, even though we like a lot like 9 out of 10 members of GOCC probably couldn't have a dialogue with you. You know what I'm saying? But I can, and I can try to meet you at your principles because I understand the underlying message. You know what I'm saying? If you start saying anything about Kemet to 9 out of 10 members of GOCC, you know what I'm saying, it'll immediately turn you off. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I have studied enough, and I try to get to the underlying message. So I will try to meet you at the point. You know what I'm saying? At the principle, at the point. You know what I'm saying? At the underlying message. So how do I feel about Islam? I don't believe the history of the Quran is entirely correct. I don't believe the history of it is factual. Uh, but as a religious belief, I evaluate the Muslim on an individual basis. I speak to with them on principles, and I try to meet them where I can agree. You know what I'm saying? Like me and Hassan really agreed 90 yesterday. You know what I'm saying? We really did. Like most of the day, I really could have just let him talk for me because we were really in sync yesterday. Uh, to that level. Even though we agreed about, you know what I'm saying, what the Bible says and all that, but I try to examine people on an individual basis by their principles. There could be some self-professing Israelites. There could be some self-professing GOCC members.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That I probably tend to be around with, and there could be some, alleged atheists who uphold principles that I have more in common. That I can relate to more. You know what I'm saying? My best friend is not a my best friend in the world is not an Israelite. He's not even religious. But what I'm saying, he's my best friend. He's like my brother.
Yeah. So in the Quran, the Quran agrees with the Bible as far as Mary having no male counterpart as a baby. You know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Quran. So now that doesn't mean nothing to you, right? That's nothing to say to you.
Right.
But that's the DJ Focus. The DJ Focus is in the worst position, and most Nation of Islam members are in the worst position because they say the Quran's their book and they say the Bible's their book. So can you imagine that? Can you imagine trying to master both books? But you can barely master one. So they try to master both books.
Yeah.
And of course, and you know what's embarrassed? Well, which is unfortunate, is that when they go to the Bible, they're wrong. And when they go to the Quran, they're wrong. It's like, then you're wrong in both of them. Because no Hebrew or no Christian is going to agree with DJ Focus interpretation of the Bible, and no Eastern Muslim, right, is going to agree with DJ Focus interpretation of the Quran. So to answer the brother questions, the brother Rastaman said, what do you call the Ahmadiyyan Muslims? All right, so they are brother. I don't know if you noticed or not. Now they are definitely East, but they are Indian Muslims, and that version of Islam is not accepted anywhere in the world but India.
Yeah, I know. I know who the
And
Ahmadiyya.
I know you know. Okay, I mean I don't know if you know, but I don't know if I don't know the brother who asked the question. Rasta knows. Okay, so the Ahmadiyyan Islam, that's Imam Bashir on Sinaitic's platform. That Islam is not respected anywhere in the world but in India. Like those folks actually die when they go spreading that somewhere else outside of India. Like those dudes get killed on us. You know, they get killed. They get killed spreading that Ahmadiyyan Muslim. So that, in my opinion, I think Brother Imam Bashir would agree too. The Nation of Islam core doctrine stems from that. Now they would never agree to it, but I believe that they pretty much plagiarized the Ahmadiyyan version of Islam, Ahmadiyya version of Islam, and made their own, version of it. That's what I truly believe.
I've heard that argument before too. I've heard that what's my guy's name? Elijah Muhammad was
Yeah.
Indian. I heard that he wasn't really a brother, he was Indian. I've heard people argue this.
I never heard that before, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was the truth. But like that. I wouldn't, because this dude damn near. I mean, bro, I never thought of that. I never thought of that. I thought, unless you're talking about Farah Muhammad, their God, I believe Farah Muhammad is Indian.
I think Ferrara was CIA. I've heard that.
Yeah.
I actually believe that, but
I don't do that because of what was going on. See, when you understand what was going on with Indians at that time, they were treated as Mexicans now, right? Where they were allowed to like flood America, right, in mass, in mass. So at that time, Indians were allowed to flood America, and a large portion was going to California.
Right.
And guess what? Ramah was in California. So you know what I mean? So for me, that is circumstantial, but for me, like, and if I give all the circumstantial evidence, I believe at least one person would be convinced that that dude was Indian. So I want to point that out that the Sunnis they believe that that Mary was definitely gave birth to Jesus, or what they call Jesus in their own language. Isa was through a holy, intervention, like that. Like I don't know what exact words they want to call it, but a holy intervention. So when I debate, so you'll see when we talk about this round table discussion Friday or whatever day we do it, like I said, play by ear, you'll see focus get stuck because I'm going to mention it from the Quran. It's like, dude, not only the Bible, because you said the Bible is plagiarized, it says in the Quran. He's going to freeze up because a lot of these guys don't know.
Let me ask you this: why do you think it matters so much whether Christ was born from Joseph? So why do you think that matters so much to people?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I believe Christianity is shit if Joseph is the father, because the whole religion is based upon this miracle. Because the Bible deals with miracles.
Right.
It deals with John the Baptist born through a miracle.
Right.
And you got other births was born through miracles, right? So, and Jesus is the miracle of all miracles, according to Christian, right? We're saying from a Christian perspective, he's the miracle of all miracles. His miracle is bigger than every miracle that's mentioned in the Bible, right? So, because the God the Father had something directly to do with his birth, right? Because John the Baptist had a miracle birth, but he had a father, Zechariah. Right. So Jesus would be outside of Melchizedek. Jesus would be the only guy to be born and not have a dad. His dad is assumed to be the father of all creation. So that's a big deal to Christians. So if you were able to prove to a Christian, in my opinion, that Joseph is the father, and there was no big miracle, I think a lot of them might get up out of that religion.
So what about Israelites? Why do you think it's so important to Israelites.
Okay, so let me say this. I'm gonna say camp Israelites. When I say camp, I mean street Israelites. They believe that. The church Israelites don't.
The church Israelites don't what?
The ones in the building, the one that teach in a building,
Yeah.
that don't go on the streets. They believe it's a miraculous birth.
No, I mean, why? Why do you think?
Yeah.
It's
So,
important?
that's a great question. I really don't know why they hold
I
dear
know
to it.
why. I already know why. I was just asking why you think.
And I don't know.
Okay, so I'm gonna explain to you why that's such a controversial topic.
Yeah.
For Christians and Israelites, or anybody who subscribes to any kind of variation of the biblical faith. So Jesus's natural birth is important because of the law. It's a big uh, weapon in favor or against upholding the law. Are you able to fulfill it? Why you can't fulfill it, and why he was able to walk in a perfect light, and you know what I'm saying? Why he was able to resist temptation, and nobody can do that because we're all human. We were born from a man, and he wasn't born from a man. He only had a woman. You know what I'm saying? He had a miracle birth. That all that had to do with the law, keeping the law. So my point of bringing that up is because I've also argued with Israelites about the miraculous birth, but I don't get too deep into the argument because honestly I don't really care, because most of the time when I have that argument, it is someone trying to justify doing something they already know is wrong, or I'm having this argument with somebody who already knows or already agrees with me that we need to do our best to keep the law. So it's not really a fruitful argument.
Yeah. I don't believe that the Jesus birth miraculous got anything to do with the law. Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see that birth has anything to do with the law. I think that's a separate argument from.
Well, that is how it is always used.
I'm telling you, Tazadakia, the Comforter, they believe that Jesus was born of a miraculous birth, and they definitely upheld the one West doctrine as far as the law. So most one West people from that school upheld the law. Like I don't know any of them who decided or had a different doctrine where the law wasn't important, where it like was done away with. I don't know one. I don't know one West person.
No, so that's what I'm saying, man. Whenever I have this discussion, it's usually one or the two. You know what I'm saying? If someone doesn't want to uphold the law, is saying that oh, he had a miraculous birth. You know what I'm saying? That's the escape they go to. And honestly, I don't have a problem. So in this case, I would not have argued with Tazadakia because I'm like, hey man, what's the point of this argument? You know what I'm saying? Like freaking, what's the point of this conversation? We both agree on the law, so hey, I don't care if you believe.
I think so. At that time, I could say what's going on at that time. At that time, ISBK will probably say they're not affiliated with the Israelite camp. So everybody was claiming to be in the truth solely by themselves, and
Oh yeah.
right, and the way they can demonstrate that by their doctrine.
Yeah,
So,
I've
so
heard.
if your doctrine had a flaw in it, how could you be in the total truth?
Right.
So that was everybody's distinction from each other.
Yeah, that's kind of like petty though. From the beginning of the circle,
Yeah, but I believe that to argue whether or not the Israelites can be saved, I'm sorry, Gentiles can be saved, I believe that's more petty than whether Joseph was the father or not. I really believe it's blasphemous, from a religious perspective. And most Christians,
You think that's more petty?
yeah, I think it's more blasphemous. And I'm telling you, if you talk to Christians in the church or any pastor, they're gonna be the same thing. It's more blasphemous, religiously speaking, to believe Joseph was a biological dad than to believe can Gentiles be saved.
I think Gentiles being saved is the more important issue. I don't think Christ Joseph being the biological father is the most important issue. I don't think that's. I really, in my opinion, I don't even think that's important at all.
Okay.
But if you're trying to use it to evade the law, then so there it becomes an issue.
So it's not important why people even debate it. I mean, they know the average Christian.
I'm telling you from my experience, and all the arguments are all centered around the law. That's why that is an argument.
Okay, so let's deal with that. So, what is your take on the law? What do you think? So, first of all, what do you think when people say the law? When people have an issue, I don't want to put it out there. When people have an issue with the law, what do you think the issue is?
Okay, so there's a lot of things. There's some people saying that it's done away with. There's some that basically, essentially, there are no laws. So there's no, and the problem with saying that is that there are no standards. If there's no laws, if there are no rules, then there are no standards that anyone can be held to. People are free to do what they want. And then there are other people who saying that there are laws, but no one can fulfill them. No one can keep all of the laws.
Right.
So,
if you break one, you broke them all, right?
Right, exactly. So since you already broke, and I don't have a problem with someone saying that, but then it becomes, well, I've already broken them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna keep breaking them. That
something like that, right?
Yeah, well, I know a lot of people like that. Most of the people who make that, who like to cite that, are usually trying to evade any kind of standard or responsibility. And then there are people who are, pretty much oppressive with the law. You know what I'm saying? They like, trying to govern every little thing everybody does and hold them to a standard that they're not even, they're not even living, or that really they're not even sure of. They're idealizing, and they're really fantasizing about what that looks like, what keeping it looks like. They really don't know, because we're not even in an autonomous nation with all of the resources and tools necessary to keep what it is they're trying to enforce on the people. So it's just a whole lot of ills that go into keeping it in reality. And I'm not trying to make an excuse, but a lot of people are trying to excuse instead of improve. They're trying to excuse instead of improve. And but yeah, hopefully I answered your question.
Yeah. Right. So so let me ask this then.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Okay, so let me go to law specifically. All right. So pork, and that's the most favorite. Do you think you can be an Israelite and eat pork?
No. What? Okay, wait. Can you be an Israelite in eat pork? Yes.
Yeah, I'm talking about, when I say Israelite, I mean like you're in God's favor.
Are you keeping the law if you're eating pork? No.
Hey, do you think you're in God's favor if you're going to eat pork?
I don't like to speak. I don't think.
Well, the Israelites enforce the law, so I'm just saying, and they hold people to the law, and they remind them of the law. So I'm just asking.
There have been people who have sinned that were in God's favor, not because
right. So I'm just asking your opinion. That's all. I'm not asking you to speak for the Heavenly Father, not like that.
No, I
In
understand.
your opinion, do you think that if people proclaim to be Israelites and they ate pork like a mother, they ain't cared nothing about that, do you believe that they'll be in God? I ain't say make it to the kingdom. I just said, do you think they'll be in God's favor?
Do I think they could be in God's favor?
Yeah.
Yes.
You said what?
Yes, I think they could be in God's
Okay,
will.
cool. So if an Israelite did indeed eat pork in your camp, would you have a problem with that? Would you confront
Yes.
them? Would you let the God be the judge?
Would I do what?
Would you confront them? Would you educate them? Would you remind them of the law, or would you just let God be the judge for their fate?
No, I would definitely remind her, hey man, you the heck you doing that? You know you ain't supposed to be eating that. It's definitely not eating it
And
around me.
and then he gonna say, brother, mind your business. I'm in favor with God, like brother Unbiased pointed out. You admitted that I can be in God's favor, so you won't ever know. That's between me and God. Like you said, people done things to be in
It's not
God's
like I
favor.
can. I'm not in a position to stop him from eating pork.
No, I don't want you to. I don't want you to stop. I'm saying if he continues to eat pork, in spite of your reminders,
Right.
will you still be allowed to camp with you guys in fellowship?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there are people in our camp who secretly eat pork. So yeah.
No. I'm not. See, you switching it up. If they're secretly eating it, how would you remind them? You can only assume they don't. If they openly do it, that's when you're able to remind them, right? In that position. I'm saying the person who you just reminded, that makes you do it openly. You're not hiding it. Hey, brother, pork is unlawful. He said, look, Akashi, you're responsible for your salvation and responsible for mine. And I heard you in a live with Brother and Buy Sports, that decent, that fine guy, man, I do this. It's true. You told him that other people sinned or did things unfavorable and still wasn't in favor of God.
Right.
He said, so I'm gonna roll the dice. I believe that eating pork ain't that big of a deal. I believe there's worse sins out there. I hold the other laws outside of this. I believe I'm still in God's favor. I'm gonna bet my salvation on it. Will he still be able to come to your camp and fellowship with you?
Like, yeah, he could still come to the camp. He just can't eat pork in the camp. He can't bring it in the camp. And he can't bring it in my house. But yeah, he could still come in the fellowship.
Oh my God! So you gonna mandate? So you got to mandate at your house?
Fuck yeah, you're not bringing pork in my house. Yes.
So mandates are good.
You said, are they good?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like.
You just said no, but you got your own at your house.
Wait, hold on. I didn't say no mandates are not good. I never said that.
Okay, I didn't hear you. Are mandates good?
Yes, depending on the mandate.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a mandate in our.
It's always. Well, look, I could say our apples are good. Of course, depending on the apple, you got some poisonous ones. But I'm saying in general.
Okay, well, yeah, in general, I would say yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, because I got a brother eat pork that's trying to join the Israelite camp, and he can't join one, and maybe he could virtually join yours.
He can come. He could come to GOCC. I guarantee you. Huh?
Brother, he not stopping. He loves his pork. He ain't stopping.
Hey man, that's his. Don't look. We're not killing people for eating pork. You know what I'm saying? Is he stealing? Is he killing? Can he work? Is he willing to sacrifice? Yeah. Like that's what he raises his children. Does he take care of his wife?
Have you read Paul's writings concerning pork and how Paul said you should view each other when it comes to those forbidden things that people consume?
Right.
So if you ate pork, it shouldn't be an issue at all. It should be no reminder, nothing.
Nah,
because the way Paul explained it, in other words, you need to mind your business.
There's a reason you're not supposed to eat pork. There's a reason behind
right,
that.
But I got you. I understand the Old Testament reason. I'm saying we're talking about Paul's time now, where he was adding and giving more clarity to certain things. So according to Paul, Apostle Paul, right, that pork thing ain't a big deal anymore, or just unclean food, period. Not a big, like you said, it's not a big deal anymore. It's a bigger goal that people try to achieve that surpasses whether you eat shrimp or pork.
But see, the problem is, back in the day, people were getting killed for eating pork.
My brother.
Back then, like they were killing people for eating pork.
And this is why Paul wrote his letters.
Exactly.
Remember,
Nobody's killing
look,
anybody
okay.
for
So
eating pork.
look what I'm saying before you start injecting your own stuff. 1 Corinthians 14:33. God is not the author of confusion. Okay. So that's why Paul wrote letters. People were confused. You just mentioned you cleared up the whole woman speaking in tongues in the church. Most women were doing it. Paul cleared the confusion up on that. So Paul letters cleared up a lot of confusion.
Right.
But another confusion that pork stuff. You a lot of Israelites holding harsh feelings towards others, Gentiles or Israelites, anybody who ate pork. So Paul wrote letters concerning just that. Unclean foods. He cleared that up. Whereas if somebody decide to eat it, leave them alone.
I mean, leave them alone.
Yes.
Listen,
Don't even bring up.
We're not going to.
Nothing.
We're not going to sit by and watch a brother eat pork and not say, hey, you know what? Pork is not unhealthy pork is unhealthy for you. You know what I'm saying? You really shouldn't eat that. And it's really a commandment that we're supposed to stay away from the pig. There's nobody who's going to sit. Nobody is
right. I get your own little policy that you guys have. But I'm just saying, according to Paul's letters, and I'm going to paraphrase because I'm going to hold it for a debate that I might have with you one day. But I'll throw this at you. Paul was saying those who are weak in the faith, leave alone. He said, if you know better, then you do better. But he was saying those who don't know better, they're weak, leave them alone. Because all you're going to do is crush their weakness. They're going to be out of the faith. And now you're accountable. So
so you phrasing it that way, I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you.
I mean, that's the way Paul put it. I got Bible and verse for that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think I had a problem with the way you was kind of phrasing it. But yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Okay, cool. Because there's a bunch of examples, right, that I can go to. I can go to 1 Corinthians 8:8. You know, with the idolatry and things like that, and meat. When people, so basically, 1 Corinthians 8:8 was dealing with this. People were praying to false gods while they eat meat, and Israelites really thought because they prayed to a false god that the actual meat was tainted.
Right.
So Paul said, "Stop that stupid shit." He said, "Ain't no such thing as these motherfuckers." He said, "They never want that meat."
He didn't.
They prayed to a false god. That false god is fake. Right? He said that false god is fake. So ain't that meat ain't tainted. That false god don't exist.
He never said that God didn't exist either.
Now I'm paraphrasing, but look, brother, the verses go just like that. People were praying to false gods over meat.
I know what you're referring to.
And Israelites were believing the meat was no good at that point.
Right.
And Paul said, "Stop it. Those gods don't have no power. The meat is still good. Eat it." Okay. Right. And he was saying those who are weak in the faith was abstaining from eating those meats. And they were saying, "Hey, I'm a vegetarian." Okay. So that was the context in that. Because I was using that to debate those hardcore Israelites. That the pork. And I'm like, hey man. Paul was saying, I don't think that was for them. That might have been for Christians. I don't know. I can't remember. But I do know.
I know there are Israelites that like that too that you're describing, and there are Christians. I mean, that definitely is a heavy hitter for Christians also. But no, I actually agree with you, and my church would agree with you also, with minor objections to the phrasing, how you phrase it. But yeah, I agree. I agree. I think for context, I think that we are complete agreement.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I need to be a guest speaker because although I disagree with the Bible, but if they're gonna do it anyway, I'm like Margaret Sanger with abortions. Margaret Sanger was not an abortionist. She was a prophylactic. She was contraceptive. contraceptives. But she said since you're gonna do abortion anyway, they have a trained physician do it. Take it out of the hands of the barber, the electrician, the carpenter, and the husband who don't want kids. Put it in the hands of the physician. So therefore, the likeliness of the mother dying, the kid dying, those things are limited. So that was her thing. My thing is this: I don't agree with the Bible, but if y'all gonna do it anyway, I want you to do it correctly. So invite me to guest speak to get you guys on the right path. If you're gonna do it anyway.
I would
What was
invite
that?
you. I invite you to have a discussion with my elder. I will do that. But
Okay.
if he, because I understand what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? But the contention is doing it the right way. You know what I'm saying? That would have to be proven. And I am more inclined to hear that than he may be. You understand? So yeah,
Okay.
but I definitely invite you to speak with him. I don't have a problem with that. But he's not going to just come and let you just free reign over the congregation without talking to him first. And then
Why not?
once you speak to him and y'all agree on whatever, then you're going to have to uphold your agreement to whatever y'all have consented to talk
Because
about.
even a white man allows you to speak to the jury, right? He
Right.
said, "All right, look, both of y'all." He said, "Both of y'all." Don't say nah.
But they
Don't speak to the jury.
know what you're going to present before you present it.
The jury. Okay, so if your brethren with the elder all know what I'm going to present in advance, everybody. So no secret, no ambush call, something like that.
Well, the jury won't necessarily know the evidence until it's presented to them. But the
No.
court,
I'm saying they just know the topic. They're right. I'm just saying they just know what unbiased is going to talk about.
right,
Unbiased is going to talk about Joseph is not the father, the biological father.
right.
Everybody, so you ready to be entertained? Well, tonight's show is featuring Unbiased Sports. This is a laughable attempt he's going to do to prove that Joseph is not the father. Let's enjoy yourself, get your popcorn and soda, let's have fun.
I mean, he might. You like I said, you have to speak to the elder. I'm more inclined to say no, he won't. But I mean, yeah, I mean, he might. He might. I don't have a problem with that. I'm in the NC, by the way. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't. I mean,
Well, I
me.
can tell you this.
If I had a venue and you were wanting to speak to my crowd like that, yeah, I would host you. But
And guess what? Your crowd would intercept it. Like, wow, that's irrefutable. Yeah. Oh, well,
I mean, I'm
okay.
pretty sure that some people might might stumble or might fault or question, and I personally don't have a problem with the person questioning. I don't have a problem with that. I question, you know what I'm saying? But I also know that most people are stupid. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem with that. Like I understand that most people are stupid. So
Right. So, but go both ways then, because if what I say convinces a stupid nigga to believe me, that means that what you already said, when I say you, your camp, and they believe that, you convince a stupid nigga to believe too. So it's like the stupid nigga can't discern anything for himself. He just going whatever sounds good at the moment.
Exactly. So, and it talks about people being blown in the wind with this and that doctrine. It talks about that. So, I know that there are people that are going to be blown in the wind, and those people are going to be blown around regardless. So, you know, they're going to be blown around with life. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with that.
Do you know Divine Prospect?
Yeah, I love him. I subscribe. I'm a Patreon of his. I like to read his library.
Okay. Yeah, when I was an Israelite, I was in communication with two people from the concert community. So only two people know me as an Israelite, right? That's Divine Prospect and that's Brother Reggie.
How long ago were
Like,
you?
no,
Like, how long ago did you?
man. Oh my God, bro. I gotta ask my uncle. I gotta ask my uncle what year he lived on the street because that's when I became an Israelite. I remember I was watching. I was a Nation of Islam member, and I was watching Nathaniel 7 and Elder Ricard out of just entertainment. You know what I mean?
Because if I'm not
I felt it
mistaken,
interesting. Huh?
if I'm not mistaken, I don't think. I think Divine Prospect. Uh, he started accepting Israelite doctrine. I think around '09.
Yeah, no, he's way afterwards. There was no such thing as him when I was coming into that faith, you know. But I'm just trying to give you no. When he was there, I was that way before he came outside of the TV, way before.
Gotcha.
Matter of fact, my video predates his. So I still have a YouTube channel. It's still up. So my videos predate his. This I know. Like he was nowhere near on the scene when I was on the scene. But he and Brother Reggie are the only two people in the conscious community that knew me as an Israelite before I became unbiased sport. I used to correspond with Brother Reggie and Divine Prospect via email.
Gotcha.
And Brother Reggie's trying to get me on that Egypt stuff, you know, and Brother Divine Prospect would just like support. He was just supportive.
Yeah, I like the way I like Divine because of the way he communicates his message. You know what I'm saying? He understands the Bible, but he's not trying to just keep throwing scriptures at you. And that's the way I approach it. I'm not trying to keep throwing old English at you. I'm trying to speak to you in a level you can understand. You know what I'm saying? That is the underlying message. I remember a long time ago on Sunday TV, there was these two Hispanic brothers. I can't remember their names, but I remember one was kind of like short and stubby, kind of fat a little bit. And these guys were Commission. They were Egyptologists. You know, they were pro Egypt, whatever like that. And I was asking him, you know what I'm saying, around I was asking him about the what do they call it? It's this picture, it's a setting where I can't think of it. It depicts like the afterlife, somebody getting judged by the scales of my, and if they the feather weight, if their heart is heavier than the feather, they live the unclean life, and they get fed to Amit. I can't Judgment Stella, I think is what it's called. But anyway, man, so these guys were kind of debating the Bible versus versus Egypt and stuff like that. And anyway, so I was asking them about the afterlife. You know what I'm saying? What do the Egyptians believe about the afterlife? And I know I know there's a lot of different beliefs there because there were a lot of different religions. But I was asking him about that, and I asked him about the Judgment Stella, and and he didn't really know what it was. But I was saying, hey man, look, if you came to me with this, I wouldn't have a problem with it because ultimately the message is the same. You live a righteous life, you live forever. The soul lives forever. You live an unrighteous life, destruction. That soul, that life cannot continue. If you came to me with this teaching of Egypt, I would not have a problem with it because ultimately it coincides with what the Bible is saying. You know what I'm saying? You live a righteous life, your soul will continue on. And if it's not, then it cannot continue on. It has to be destroyed. So that's how I approach it, man. I'm not looking to throw scriptures at you and saying you have to believe this old English letters and these words. I'm not that's not how I'm looking at it. It's the underlying and the overlying message. Do you understand that? I'm looking at
So
it.
what about when Jesus said all knees shall bow?
I'm sorry, say that again.
When Jesus said all knees, he said everybody should confess my name, something like that. What do you say about that?
I'll say that one more time. I'm sorry.
When Jesus said everybody should confess his name.
Everybody should confess their what?
His name.
I don't know. Hold on. I think it's something wrong with my audio. Because when you keep saying that last word, I'm not picking up.
Yeah, so everybody should confess Jesus' name.
Oh, confess Christ's name.
Yeah.
Yeah. And okay. Honestly, I'm undecided on that. I'm undecided on what that means. And I'm really undecided on what that means. I'm sorry, say that again.
I said, oh shit.
Yeah, because
Um,
let me give you an example so it doesn't make it seem like I'm trying to cop out. When it says taking the Lord's name in vain, like a lot of people be like, you shouldn't say God's name, you know what I'm saying? Just unless you're using it for an important reason or and stuff like that. They consider that taking the Lord's name in vain, but that's not really what that means. You know what I'm saying? If you're calling yourself a child of God or a prince of the power, you know what I'm saying, or you coming as a representative of this power, that's what you are. And if you profane it and you're acting inappropriately and dishonorable in that name, you're taking that name in vain. You're dishonoring that name. That's what that means. So when it talks about professing in the name of Christ, as of right now, I look at it as professing in truth, in light, in love, and spirit. That's how I am. That's how I'm interpreting that right now. But I know I could be wrong. I'm still studying that.
right.
I'm not on the theism part of the Bible. I'm still learning and studying on the theistic side of things. Matter of fact, well, I'm still studying on a lot of it, but you know what I'm saying. On that part, I'm really undecided on. I've heard a lot of different stances, but I don't think that it's necessarily saying that you have to acknowledge who the world calls Jesus Christ as a living being. As of right now, I'm really more on board with the principles and truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't be going around lying to yourself, because a lot of people lie to themselves.
Hmm?
Say that again.
And I said, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here.
Yeah. So do you watch football?
Nah, man. I matter of fact, I don't even watch basketball no more.
Wow.
I'm totally tuned out. I follow the NBA a little bit. Like I'll listen to like the news and around surrounding it, but I ain't been watching it.
Okay, I'll do that. No, I do. So anyway, so we're gonna wrap this up. We don't be too late, you dig? And we're gonna do a part two, not part two, just another part, and we're gonna be more biblical. All right?
Yeah, no problem.
We're gonna touch the scriptures. I'm just gonna ask you your opinion, you dig, on certain how you view certain scriptures or certain groups. That's all.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. I'm gonna probably
Yeah, so
I'm gonna probably be signed off for a couple of days, but like I said,
yeah. So
if you reach,
you will come back around that Friday thing. That's what I'm gonna
but if you
hit
reach
you
out
up.
to me and try and give me a heads up, then I can try and make it before that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that too. Yep.
All right.
All
Later.
right. So yeah, so we're gonna end it right there. Good build, good peaceful build. Nobody was talking over each other, not yelling stuff. We just had a good conversation again. You dig? So all right, my brother, We're gonna definitely invite you back on for good. I know people like good conversation. People don't like the arguing. I see the chat. They hate it. So people love a good conversation because whether they agree with you or me, it doesn't matter. They get to hear you out. And they can say, okay, that's why they think like that. Or that's why, you know what I mean? They get to justify their already made stance.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'll be communicating you via SMS anyway.
Yeah.
Right, my brother? All right. So have a great night. I'm definitely going to take my butt to bed.
Yeah. I needed to sign off an hour ago, but yeah. I ain't going to the gym in the morning.
Yeah, I am. And it's going to kill me. That's what I'm getting on right now.
Yeah. All right then.